But yeah, we should be fine
You
now.
know, I learned to stop complaining because instead of getting mad at it, I just say, "Well, what do you want? It's free."
I've never had this issue. It's weird. It's
I don't know what you guys do to it to make it so pissy.
didn't do anything. I was just trying to play a game and but yeah, we're back live now, by the way.
Hello.
Welcome back,
Coming at you
everybody.
live.
Let me copy the StreamYard. Give Albert the Yeah. What's up, Greg? Sorry about that. I was having technical issues.
How far did you get in that Blackthorn game?
I got to the second stage and I'm like, "Look, I'm done."
I was wondering how long it was going to take you. I wanted to like that
Hey,
game so bad. Uh,
it's a it's fun. It looks good. The soundtrack's fantastic. It's just I wouldn't even say that it's because the difficulty is brutal, but it's when you die and then you go back to a checkpoint, you have to do the same shit over and over again. It gets so repetitive.
mm-hmm.
I had just had enough.
Yeah, I don't. I tried playing that one. It's another one of those cinematic type games.
It's
Yeah.
not bad, but it's just it's definitely one of those. You got to be the best of the best to play that shit. Either that, or you need like the patience of a saint.
Y'all ever played this one before? Bulk Slash.
Doesn't
Never
sound
heard of
familiar.
that.
This is like a Saturn game. It's like a pretty late release. Japan only.
Yeah, we got to get a Saturn Day thing going because that's what everybody wants.
It's a cool game
Well,
though.
you
I
can.
played a little bit of it before. Been translated too.
Well, that's the thing is the Saturn had some amazing games that never even made it stateside, and they're only getting translated now. Like they got fucking RPGs that were released on the Saturn in Japan, super ahead of the time.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mashed the wrong button. That's here. It's supposed to start the.
It's one of those things where if Sega had actually gotten its shit together, Saturn could have been something special.
Yeah, right. Like if they would just like focus more on stuff like this, like 2D games, or just games that actually are giving developers the proper like tools to like you know what I mean, developer kit. You know what I'm talking about because nobody knew how to use the thing properly.
Well, the problem with the Saturn is that there was a lot of bullshit going on internally. Like Sega of America and Sega of Japan were like having this big internal power struggle.
Yeah, yeah, you've talked about that before.
Oh, it's fucking crazy. Like once you really start digging into it, like the problem with the Saturn is that like Sega had a shit fit when they saw the PlayStation come out and they panicked and they threw another CPU on it, which would like barely be able to do 3D shit. So it just became needlessly complex.
Yeah, all that VDP stuff.
But
Yep.
they felt that they had to compete with well that's the problem is Sega kept feeling like it had to compete. Like people can say whatever they want about Nintendo, but Nintendo was like, okay, fine, I'm just here doing my fucking thing,
And then
and everybody else felt the need to compete with them.
yeah, the N64. Yeah, it didn't do as well as their other stuff, but I mean, it sold all right. I mean, it wasn't like a flop or anything.
It sold enough for them to make the GameCube.
Exactly. It wasn't like Sega, where it's like Saturn was basically the beginning of the end. Like
The Sega CD was the beginning of the end for me personally. At that point, the Sega CD and the 32X that completely fucked up like American consumers' confidence in Sega's products.
I see what you mean there. Yeah, because you had like all that FMV stuff, and a lot of the games are just Genesis ports, so not much reason in getting them. You can just get the Genesis. You already have the Genesis version.
Well, yeah, it was shit like when they came out with the 32X. They're like, all right, here's this peripheral that costs like $200. And then, like, a year later, they're like, okay, here's this system which plays it all by itself.
Oh,
Why
that,
didn't they just put that at the beginning?
oh, but that thing was in the bargain bin real quick, though. That's how Dad had one. That's how he got his, was from the bargain bin through 2X.
Yeah, nobody wanted that fucking shit.
He had a Sega CD too, but he might have paid. I don't know if he got that from the bargain bin or not, because he had like a decent amount. It used to have a decent amount of games for that. Like, I
The
think
Sega CD would have been fine if they had not hitched their wagon to full motion video games and they just came out with their heavy hitters. The Sega CD could have done well.
because I think he had more Sega CD games than Super Nintendo, believe it or not. He used to have a bunch, like, but I don't know what he. I think he might have got rid. I think he got rid of them.
Oh, what a
Yeah.
shame!
Yeah, no,
Those are
right?
worth some fucking bucks too.
I can't remember. I'm trying to think of what he had. I know he had Sonic CD. I want to say he had Echo the Dolphin. He had some football game. He had one of the Chalk Rock games, either the first or second one. And I think he had Mickey Mania. But that's the only ones I can remember him having.
Well, here's a question: what is generally considered to be the best Sonic game ever made?
For me, I'd say
Sonic 06.
Sonic goes. No, dude, it's no Sonic Forces. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Nowadays,
Sonic CD.
a lot of people would probably consider Sonic Mania nowadays the best.
People still hang their hats on Sonic CD.
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, you're right. So a lot of people do. That's not my favorite, but it's a good game.
So yeah, but imagine if Sega had hitched it to that instead of, oh fuck, we just bought this whole library of fucking
Junk.
old shitty games. We got to put it on there to like try to recoup.
Sonic and the
technology
Black
was not
Knight.
there.
Sonic and the Black. No, no. What about Sonic and the Secret Rings? They were all the shitty ones.
What was that arcade only Sonic?
Oh yeah, Sega Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic the Fighters.
Oh, I know it. I know that one. It's called Sonic and the Shoebox of Destruction.
What?
Yes, that's right. But have you ever played this one, Cheetah Man? And you probably have two Fatal Vision. I don't know if you do. You dibble and dabble and maim?
Say that again.
Do you dibble and dabble in maim?
Of course.
Okay, so have you two ever played that Sonic game where Sonic is a policeman?
No.
No.
Okay, try it out.
Like what? He chases down like drunk drivers.
No, not that kind of policeman. Let me pull it up. I think this is Japan only, so let me see.
That's gotta be.
See,
I
that would
never
be
heard
funny.
of
Fucking
this.
Sonic like spinning into a ball and like attacking drunk drivers and knocking them
That'd
off
be
the road.
great. That'd be real great. Ooh.
Let me see. This game I'm playing now actually, tries to take advantage of the Saturn hardware. I mean, the graphics look decent. It runs at a good frame rates, like 30 frame. Like, hasn't had any slowdown or anything. Like I said, this is like
What was that one Sega CD game that I was playing where? Oh yeah, well it was like Snatcher. Beautiful soundtrack. The graphics look good. They just
Yeah,
didn't
Cheetah Man
give
was
a
playing
fuck.
that one when he was doing live. That's how I know. I was like, what? Snatcher. I didn't even know about this shit.
Yeah, I played that
Well,
game
Snatcher,
several
that was a good
times.
humor product.
Oh, there it is. Let's see what it's.
Burning Rangers. Yeah, I played that one, Luke. That's a good game.
Oh, Burning Rangers was really good.
That's
Like
a
they
really-
tried doing like voice shit with that.
Yeah, no. That was
This
pretty
is
cool.
called Waku Waku Sonic Patrol Car.
I've never heard of that game. I think you might have mentioned that one before, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
All you got to do is just say Waku Waku, and I'm like, yeah, that's Japan only.
Right.
Came out in 91.
Yeah, that's like a early game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what killed Sega was they just felt the need to compete with everybody. They had to compete, and it didn't end very well for them.
No, it didn't help
Like
too.
Sega,
Oh, go ahead.
and Nintendo just didn't give a fuck, and they're still around today.
Well, Nintendo also stuck with the franchises that made them successful for the N64. Like you had Mario, Zelda.
Well, that did piss off a lot of fucking base fans. Is when they released the Saturn, and there was like no Sonic games, and then what they got was Sonic 3D Blast, which is
And Sonic R, which is that game looks good, but it's like hard to play.
that's a stupid Mario Kart ripoff, right?
Yeah, it's the one where you're running around for most of the characters.
Yeah, no one's gonna fucking nobody wanted that shit. They
No,
just wanted a Sonic game. They just wanted a good Sonic game.
and he had Sonic Jam, but that was just a compilation. Old games.
Yeah.
I mean, then they had a good Sonic game on the Dreamcast.
But by that point, it was a little too late.
Yeah, that and somebody figured out how to backdoor their shit.
I didn't know
Talk
that.
about a fuck up right there.
Talk about as far as like hacking it.
Yeah, when there's that old trick where you got like a demo disc, you put it in and it would bypass everything, and then you could open it up, take it out, and put in a burned disc, and it would run.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't
You
know
didn't have
that.
to mod it.
Wow.
Yeah, you didn't have to mod it. You didn't have to fuck with it. It was in every issue of this magazine was a Sega demo disc.
You think Sega would have like caught that? Like that's crazy. Like done like a hardware revision or something. I know back then you couldn't do updates, obviously, like you could nowadays.
Well, they could be. They were gonna try something like that with the Ethernet connection, but nobody wanted to sign up for that because you had to go through AT&T, and who the fuck would want to do that?
Yeah, I got you.
Sega had amazing ideas. They just had to. That they just always did these really stupid knee-jerk reactions to what other people were doing. Oh no, the Sega, Sony's coming out with a 3D console, so we need to have 3D games.
Right.
Nintendo might be making a new CD-based console, so we have to do the CD-based console.
That's
They
right.
Yeah,
they
because
just they just always reacted.
you were talking about that in your Night Trap video about why Sega got all
Yeah.
those because the Super Nintendo, because the PlayStation when it was Nintendo was still doing it.
See
Sony.
what's fucked up is like when I was doing the research for that review, I didn't even know how long that thing had been in development because I mean it's like well known now that what do you call it? Sega and not Sega, but Nintendo and Sony were like in bed together and they were going to do the PlayStation thing. But I thought that whole idea came about in like the early 90s. I didn't know that started like in 88.
I didn't. Wow, that old. Shit,
Yeah.
that is pretty
And
wild.
this is why Sony came out swinging, and this is why the PlayStation was so good, is because from the time that that partnership dissolved, from 1988 to what 1994, Sony had been building a console, and they could just keep building it, and they didn't have to worry about losing money because they were making money elsewhere with radios and TVs and all that shit. So it's not like it's sitting there going, "Look, we've been developing this for 6 years. We need to release this because we're going to go bankrupt." No, it's just like, "Look, here's," and that was it too. Is I remember what Nintendo pulled where they fucking screwed over Sony like that. The CEO of Sony was so pissed off over that he built an entire division in Japan just for SEC.
Yeah, Sony Computer
Can you
Entertainment.
imagine
Yep.
being that? Yeah, but can you imagine being that mad that you build a building and hire a staff and build an entire division dedicated to fucking outdoing like someone who wronged you?
Yes.
And they were able to get the
It's
support.
very Japanese.
They were able to get the support too. You know, like Namco, SquareSoft, like all the big people. the Nintendo. I think pretty much the ones that pretty much abandoned Nintendo for the N64. I don't.
For the people that Nintendo had fucked over.
Yeah, like Namco. Yep, because you've talked about that before.
Yeah.
I know
That-
Namco. They mostly did like the
that-
Genesis and TurboGrafx the last gen anyway. They didn't fuck with it much as far as games.
Well, that's the problem is because Namco got into a big, how do we call it? A little bit of a scuffle with Nintendo.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. But it was ridiculous. This was like good Lord levels of ridiculous. But I mean, after that, though, like after the one thing where they got all that support, though, out of people was just the whole notion that Nintendo was like, look, we're the only people in town, and if you don't do what we tell you, we're not going to publish your game.
Yep,
We're not going to put it on there.
Yep, my
So-
way or
you
the
know-
highway type attitude.
Yeah, but with Sony coming out with their thing, they were able to straight up be like, look, we're not going anywhere. You can come to us. So all the other companies were like, look, if you fuck us, we'll just stay with Sony. And you're not going to get any games, period. Nintendo ran their shit through a climate of fear.
Luke saying buying buildings to make a name for yourself sounds like a television. Yeah, but the big difference is that Luke is that obviously, you know, the television didn't know what the hell they were doing, unlike Sony. But it was just this, or like Volp says, it was a scam. You know, so obviously the PlayStation came
It
out.
was a scam.
Yeah, Volp saying, he always used to say like the television Amico is a scam and garbage system. Like in every comments.
Yeah.
That was like his catchphrase.
And television fucked up.
Yep.
They really fucked up.
Fucked all the way up.
About to die.
1,000%.
Why?
Dan Channel might not be around much longer.
Why not?
Some Minnesota guy. It's filing.
The Hyatt stuff, yeah. So,
Yeah,
I know
he's
exactly what
filing
you're
copyright.
Copyright.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
those about the Katie Rock stuff, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. Thing is though, when a user removes something, then it's wiped away.
Yeah, he deleted the
So-
stuff, so I don't get that.
So it's going to be pretty difficult. Pretty difficult.
But wait, when he did that whole To Catch a Predator thing, wasn't he like verbatim, like watching and showing images from someone else's video?
Oh yeah, but at the same time, dude, probably on one of my days off, I might get to it. I don't know. I don't want to say too much on here because ears are listening, eyes are watching. No, its eyes are listening and ears are watching. Sure, it is. Yeah. Well, once a user, and I checked back on my history, it says user removed. It didn't say user privated. It said user removed.
So he deleted it. He just find out he just deleted it then.
He deleted it. Yeah. It's fair game.
Yeah, once it's deleted, it doesn't exist anymore.
Not according to
Right.
YouTube, no.
No, I mean, come on. We all three do YouTube, and it says YouTube comes on. Are you sure you want to delete this? Deleting forever. Yeah,
Yep.
it says forever. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, plus, this is the beauty of it. If it goes through and I do a counter thing, he has to prove that he has papers. How is he going to get that? It's a win-win for me altogether.
Oh, I wasn't supposed to shoot that ship down. Oh, this is like an escort.
Should have just stayed quiet, and it would have gone away.
Mhm. Ugh.
Should have just left it alone.
Like they all should have. Like, man, I don't know if you know this about me, Phil, but them people, the Eds, the CP, I blocked all of them before. And they came at me. And they say I'm the bully. It's like, come on. I blocked you guys. I didn't want to do nothing. Here we are. It is what it is. I just want to talk
Well, I
video
mean, at the
games with
same
you
time,
guys.
you very well could claim harassment on your own for the fact that there's like 25 different videos after you.
I could. Because he does have that on me now. He does. But it's also, if you read YouTube's guidelines, it's like freedom of speech type shit. And then YouTube gets into this whole, well, if you report the news of like Saddam Hussein bombing such and such and da 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 da, then that's just the news. You're just telling it like it is.
Yeah.
You're not saying Saddam is a big old meanie and you call him all types of names. Which he is doing though, because I'm stupid in every one of his videos. But that's a matter of opinion.
I don't get that stuff she posts. It's all just metaphors and just
It's all blocky, blocky, block.
like Albert was saying on Lewis's stream. Speak a language we can understand. Like, I'm just saying, it's just like I don't get it. Like, being honest, like I mean, just,
I think you have to be on drugs to get it.
Well, yeah, not everything needs to be a fucking riddle.
right? Exactly, Fatal.
I mean, there's your hook right there. Just say, riddle me this, Dean, man.
Riddle this Dean, man. I cannot find a damn rubber band. Ugh. If only newspapers were still around.
Oh, now I'm at the bar. What do you need a rubber band for?
Tie my beard up and shave my neck beard.
Oh,
I usually go under.
and really. Put on in the comments. Yeah, Volp.
Well, I mean, that and the
Oh, go ahead.
it just becomes such stupid semantics because it's like, oh, why couldn't you just leave me alone? Why the fuck would I leave you alone? You made goddamn 17 fucking videos talking shit about me. And like 7 of them are set to preview like 6 months from now.
I don't. That's just so bizarre. Like, who does that? Like, except for him.
I think he was reading one of those or listening to one of those YouTube videos that pops up every now and again on my feed. It'll be like, how to grow your channel within a week.
Yeah, I've seen those before.
And it's like, yeah, you just put all your upcoming videos, upcoming 2 weeks from now. That's how you do it or something.
Yeah, but you don't do it for like news stuff though, because by that point people stop caring about it.
Especially when it's a hot topic. I mean, come on, we wanted to see you see what you had to say about old Darius. Now as days go by, it's kind of like, whatever.
Let's talk about the Supertime halftime show. You mean from last year? Because that's when the fucking video debuted.
Right?
I mean, that's just a common sense thing. You know, and plus, like realistic, like just real talk. It's like, all right, fine. You talk shit about him, so he talks shit about you. But when you say I'm done with you, then be fucking done with you. Like this
Well,
is it. Fuck you. I'm done. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about you anymore. And then that'll be the end of it.
yeah.
I gotta do this one.
You gotta do it again.
Yeah, because I'm down at the boss. Like I don't know what I was.
I saw that.
Figure out what I was. Yeah, I couldn't
Little
hit
anime
it.
chick was saying,
I couldn't hit
is
it
that
though.
your
It was like,
default character, that anime chick?
I don't know. I just like grabbed her on level 1. I guess she's like my support. I think she's like telling me what to do.
Well, I see the support is that blue haired guy in the glasses. Looks like he could be your fashion designer. I don't know.
Like some escort mission I'm doing now.
Oh,
You know, either that or come at somebody without using the fucking bingo card of insults.
well, he has very limited vocabulary. Come on. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if you caught that. Did you catch that when he was like, "What comes after 59?"
I mean, yes.
Did you
I'm the
catch
one that
that?
said that. 70.
You said that. Okay, so you're the one. Yes, yes. Okay. Oh
And that was
shit!
right after calling someone else an idiot.
Yeah.
Hey, Darius, what comes after 59? Darius, do you know? You probably don't know because you're an idiot. It's 70, by the way.
Oh,
That's like telling someone, you don't know how to drive. I'll show you how to drive. You get in the car, you back up and right into a fucking police car. But it's just come out with something fucking new. That's all I'm asking for. Is say something new.
Oh man.
You say I don't have no views? Well, guess what? Well, what are you going to say? You're going to call. You're going to either say that he's a pedophile, or you're going to say that you do realize, or
You do realize.
or he's going to complain about your that's it. You're a pedophile who's coming after me for clouds.
Clouds. Yes, clouds. He
You're
even
not getting
has
as
it
many
as
views
the
as I
title,
am.
Cloud. Yes.
a cloud.
Oh,
But the
man.
whole thing is like, come to the table with something new. And if you don't have anything new to say, then just be like, you know what? I don't fucking like you. You're a piece of shit because of this and this and this. And I don't have anything else to say to you. So fuck you. Bye. It keeps going because it is drama. And people are going to tune in because they want to hear what fucking shit he's going to say next. And that's what it all is. People tune in because they want to hear what they're going to say next. I'm sorry. If I don't fucking like you, I'm not going to waste the time nor the megabytes on my fucking computer to record a video and talk about you. You know what I mean? Is you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, he just.
I see where you're going with it.
No. I mean, like, it's just you see where I'm going with this. I'm the big dog now.
Oh
okay.
shit! So you like in charge? You run this community then?
Oh yeah, hostile takeover.
I gotta listen.
We're taking over, brother.
Gotta listen to Big Don Fatal now.
Oh
Big
God,
Don
no.
Fatal.
Oh, come on, there we go.
I'm gonna make him a channel growth opportunity that he can refuse.
Oh man. Oh shit.
I mean, hey, at least over here we play video games.
Exactly.
We sure do.
Play video games, just have a great time.
A very fun time.
Just got old. So I mean, our arcade game. What's your favorite arcade game of all time?
Oh,
Michael
man.
Jackson's Moonwalker.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was like a Too much. That was too much of a quarter eater. Galaga's probably my favorite.
I like Galaga.
Galaga? Galaga's a good one.
We had that in the lunchroom. Yeah.
What about the X-Men game?
Yeah, we had that at Pizza Hut. That's a nice game. But see, you know, beat 'em up. It only goes so far with me with a beat 'em up. Now that I'm older.
Yeah, that's my take. Is just like after you've beaten up the same guy 50 times, it gets kind of old.
Yeah.
And X-Men doesn't have a ton of variety, unfortunately, as far as like enemies go.
Right.
I like that Spider-Man game where like you had Spider-Man,
Spider-Man?
Namor for some reason.
Hawkeye
Yeah,
and Black Cat. Yes. That's a great
yeah.
arcade. Yes.
But it was cool because like it went into big mode, then it went into small mode.
Big mode.
So you
Yep.
got like this awesome sense of scale. They did
Yeah.
something different with that.
Yes. And that was made by Sega.
Yep.
Sega knows how to make arcade shit.
Yes.
They've always that's been their bread. I was their.
See, I'm
bread
just
and butter.
going into an arcade and like you see Data East on the side of that shit, you know it's a good one.
Yeah, I got quite a few Data East games on Launchbox.
Yeah. You got that RoboCop game?
I got both of them. 1 and 2. I think
What-
the second. I think the second
was this-
one's better.
It was more in line with the movie. The first one is just you walking down the street going, drop it, drop it,
Yeah,
drop
pretty
it.
much. It's well, I think the second one's more fun to play too. It's more like a beat 'em up style game. Like the first one's more of a quarter eater.
A lot of them were.
Oh yeah, but the first one's like even compared to the second one's big time quarter. Like that GI Joe game I was playing.
As much as I love it.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I start saying it's like that GI Joe game I was playing earlier. That one's a big quarter.
Yeah, but that's like Space Harrier, though. That's the shit.
Oh yeah, Space Harrier.
Space Harrier was a good one.
I was playing that one, not streaming it, but just playing it a couple weeks ago. My own time.
So that's what I like about those Yakuza games is like you can go what do you call it?
Yeah, like
Like go into the arcades and play the old arcade games.
Because yeah, didn't they like added some 3D games in like the newest one arcade games to play?
The last one that came out, I'm trying to remember what the fuck was the last one that came out. I haven't gone to the arcades yet in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Like I just got to Hawaii.
Yeah, I've never played any of the Yakuza games before. I know a lot of people seem to like them though.
They have really good stories. You just have to come in at the right time. Then I think you need to get started off on the right game.
Oh, is it like Kingdom Hearts where like you have to like start with a certain one, you'll be lost?
No, nothing like that really. Because I mean, they have their own separate things, and you don't have to play the last one to get into it. And even if you didn't play it, they'll give you a recap of it. So why play the last game? You can just buy the new one that came out, and it'll tell you what happened. But you just have to play the right game at the right time to get you into it. Because like, it took me a minute to get into Yakuza. Like I bought the Dead one because that was the only one that I could find. The one where it was like a spin-off with zombies and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is the big deal about this shit? Why did everyone say that this is like a masterpiece? But then I tried the Yakuza 0, and it was amazing.
Isn't that
like that had a great enough story?
Isn't that like a remake of the first one, or am I thinking of something else?
It's like a remake of the first one, yeah.
It is like a remake. I know that series has been around for a while. It's like what the PS.
Yes, it is. But I mean, like I said, it was all about coming in at the right time and trying it at the right time because it was like, what do you call it? Like I was just fucking around with it, and then it went to one of the Hostess mini games, And the next thing you know, me and my oldest were like sitting there, and like we were trying to put costumes on the hostesses so we get like the best results. And we did that for like 7 hours. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying 7 hours like as an exaggeration, where it's like, oh, yeah, it's all you do all day. But but yeah, we were there for like forever, just like doing the costumes. Then we got hooked on it, and you know what I mean? It just you have to come at it from the right angle at the right time with the right game. But once
Yeah.
you get into it, it's phenomenal. It's beautiful.
And what's up, Bob
Like I
Newman?
think the stories are great.
Yeah, I know a lot of people seem to like the stories for them. I would just mostly know them because of like the arcade stuff.
Yeah. I guess it was easier for me to get into it because I was a huge fan of Shenmue.
Shenmue. Yeah, I tried playing that one, but I couldn't get into it. First Shenmue game.
Shenmue, yeah, Shenmue was a that was an interesting one. Like I remember I got that when it first came out, so I was like 15, 16 at the time. And it's definitely a slow burn. Like if you're not used to that type of game, I'm assuming Japanese audiences are more used to that sort of shit.
Yeah. You just like walk around most of the time when you play that.
You kind of do, but there's like a lot of waiting involved. But once like it gets to that where it's like, oh, so I'm supposed to meet Fuckface at the fish market at 7 p.m. It's only 2 p.m. What are you gonna do? Well, I could go to the parking lot over here and train my moves so that when I get into a fight, I can do the move better. Or I could go to the arcade and play Hang On for a couple hours, and that's when it started to kind of grow on me. And I think that's the thing is you just have to play it long enough for it to grow on you. But you also have to be willing to do that too, which I understand how that's not for everybody.
Yeah, like dedicate. Yeah, just because I've heard it's got like a lot of like busy work in it, like Shenmue. I just
The Shenmue, yeah. But what I thought was cool about it was the open-ended nature of it. You know, it was like it's kind of like a life simulator in a lot of ways, where it was like, oh fuck, it's 6 p.m. I got to get to the kitten and feed it because you don't want the kitten to starve. And then it's like, well, shit, I'm supposed to meet this asshole at 4:30, and this shop doesn't open up until this time. So it can get annoying in that sense, but at the same time, it's like it's hard to explain.
well, really, there's like at the time
I
there
wish
was
I
nothing else like it. I mean, just the amount of immersion.
Well, I guess maybe that's the right word. Is that it's just I had never played a game with that level of immersion before. I'd never seen anything like that.
I say, it really was like
Like it's like, hey,
ahead of its time.
it really was. And then once you get past all that shit, you're like, you know what? There really is a pretty good fucking story in here. And hey, some people might be into that micromanagement shit. I think what you like a prerequisite for getting into stuff like that is you have to be one of those people that's into like sim and management games.
Yeah, you see, that's something I've never been. That's a genre I've never really been appealed to. Sim and stuff like the micromanagement stuff.
Yeah, like some people they'll swear up and down that like there's this game by Kairosoft where you run an airport and it's like the coolest thing ever. Like I love that shit. So like it's a natural gravitation towards me. But it's the same thing as like if you go up and you're like, man, I love Call of Duty, and someone comes up and they're like, I hate first person shooters. You're like, what? Why?
I mean, everyone has
It
their own
just does come down to
preferences.
different. That's it. It is literally different strokes for different folks. We just sadly live in that age where it's like you need to like what I like, or you're not cool.
That's the way. That's dumb. That's stupid mindset.
No, I
Like,
hate that
who the
shit.
hell?
Like if you
Like, who
if you don't like,
cares?
I well, that's a problem. Is people care too fucking much.
Yeah, like that's a
People
genre.
just care way too much.
Like that's a genre I'm not into. Like I don't care for fighting games either, or like real time strategy. Like
Yeah,
like I enjoy D. Like
real
that
time
being said,
strategy fits right up my alley.
Well, that being said, though, I still enjoy like Dean's like father-son videos, but that doesn't mean I like fighting games. He just makes it.
Well, yeah,
He
but
just makes
that's
it
also
entertaining. He makes it
because
entertaining.
yeah, but that's also because you have their interactions to break up the whole having to stare at the fucking game that you wouldn't even play.
Right, right. They make it, like I said, he edits it too, just to make it more interesting. You're not just watching them fight the whole time. Like,
Yeah,
like see like the reactions and stuff.
yeah, but I mean, it's like I said just now with Dean, where I was like, we're both of us were like, yeah, after you've punched out the same guy named Simmons like 30 times, it gets a little old,
Yeah, that's why my
like
favorite
beat 'em
one.
up games.
Yeah, like my favorite one is Streets of Rage because that one actually has, in my opinion, a little bit of variety. Plus, it's not like
Oh,
like it's got some length, but it's not like super long either. Like you could beat it in like an hour.
it's also got a banging soundtrack.
Exactly, it's got everything that and good graphics too.
Streets of Rage was good. I love Streets of Rage.
What's your
I
favorite
can't
one?
wait for that new one to come out. Probably two.
I agree. The second one's the best. I think the first one's pretty solid too. I know like the gameplay like is pretty different, but I enjoyed it. Like it's got good music. Streets of Rage
No,
1.
first one's solid, but I'm like that was the hallmark of Streets of Rage was that banging soundtrack for me.
Now the third one,
Love that soundtrack.
unfortunately, that one doesn't have the music for that one's kind of a mixed bag for me. It's kind of out there.
Yeah,
It's a little too out there in my.
I think it was a combination where they focused way too much on what they thought was working, and they were neglecting other areas.
And that's one of those games too where you're better off playing the Japanese version unless you like want a real challenge, like too hard.
Yeah, but like Streets of Rage 2 was like lightning in a bottle, where it like had that perfect blend of everything, where it had the really good music, it had the really good enemies, it had the really good level design. 3, it was just, it's like, okay, so they love our graphics, they love our level design, they love our music, and then they forgot about other stuff.
What did I miss?
Or me and Fatal's just talk about video games. I played I think Bulk Slash, like a Saturn. I've been playing it for a while.
Nice.
All right, here's an example for you, and this one's always going to be a controversial one. How many Silent Hills games have you played?
I've never played Silent Hill before.
Oh boy, you're in for a fucking treat.
Hyatt's house is like Silent Hill.
Oh man.
Oh my god. At least you can escape from Silent Hill.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But well,
you played.
There's an example. Just anybody who's played Silent Hill might understand where I'm going with this one. Like Silent Hill was a shot in the dark, and when it came out, everybody praised this and that and the other thing, right? And then when they came out with Silent Hill 2, people universally say that that's the best one out of everything. Then they came out with Silent Hill 3, and they were like, they were operating under the notion that people wanted loose ends from one tied up and this and that. And then they came out with 4, which is, well, that's what I was just going to get to. Everybody, like Konami was like, okay, they really like how we like focus on the psychological aspects about how Pyramid Head was just like punishment for James and all this. So let's really focus on the psychological. And that's all that they fucking focused on was the psychology of everything. And then they missed other areas of what made the last ones great.
Oh, Luke's apparently a big Silent Hill fan. Saying it in the chat.
I unfortunately can't see the chat because I'm doing this all from my phone. So it's like if I go to the stream, it'll play the audio and we'll have like a loop for days because I can't like mute it there.
Yeah, no.
Luke did a playthrough of the new game that Konami dropped like for free.
Yeah, what?
Luke did a playthrough of that. He had to change his he had to change his sweatpants twice because he was dropping loads in it.
That good, huh?
Yeah. He couldn't stand up from his game chair because he was popping a rod the whole time.
Oh, man. Oh, now
All right,
what?
well, then, Luke, if you're a huge Silent Hill fan, would you agree with that? That 4 kind of suffered because they focused too much on psychology.
Not twice. He's saying not twice, 3
Luke-
times.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's the thing, though, is 4 is so polarizing because there's people that will tell you that either it's an underrated masterpiece or they completely missed the plot. There's no it's either really good or it's what the fuck.
Let's say because you seem to be vested in Silent Hill. I remember watching the original movie with the ex,
Oh yeah.
and we both walked away from that movie like that was good. Like we didn't expect
was.
much. We expected it to be shit, and it was good. It was not bad. We could not knock it for one thing.
No, you
And,
can't because they completely nailed the atmosphere.
Now you actually know the story, you know the characters' names and stuff. Don't you feel
Yeah.
like majority of the people they know the name Silent Hill? They know
Yeah.
it's survival horror. They got 1 foot in survival horror, 1 foot in Call of Duty. For those fans, would they take something away from the games you mentioned? Like, is there aspects gameplay? Is the gameplay solid? In other words,
In Silent Hill?
in Silent Hill 3 and 4, PS2, that was the golden era.
The gameplay, I think, was honestly probably one of the worst issues in 4. Like 3 played like all the others. And there's people who will say that 3 is like the low point of it. Me personally, like when I got it, I was in high school and I was like blown away because I never for 1 second thought that that was Cheryl that you were playing as. Like it didn't hit me until I got back to the apartment and I saw that familiar coat of Harry slumped over in the chair dead. So the game fucking got me, you know?
Because
But I mean, like
watching
the
Luke
gameplay and
watching Luke play the new game, it was
Mhm.
like where's the gameplay? It was basically him going to a room and nothing's really overtly scary, but the ambiance and the atmosphere reigns supreme in that game.
well,
And I
that's what
think they
Silent
missed
Hill
the
to
mark.
me is all about. That to
So
me is
you
what
probably
Silent Hill is all about.
so I think a lot of these people who gave it mid scores, they said, "Hey, this new game, it's not that good." I think they're expecting Resident Evil. I don't think they understand what Silent Hill is, and that's why I
No,
suspect that.
Silent Hill to me was always about the psychology.
That's why Luke walked away with it a fan because he gets it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people shit on that reality show thing that they tried, where it's like they had like people watch it and they streamed it, and they were able to like vote on what happens next. That sort
Was
of
that
shit flies in Japan.
where was that on? Was that on PlayStation Network?
They just did that earlier, like late last year.
Oh,
I think it was called Silent Hill Ascension.
Oh, that sounds cool.
It's an interesting concept. The problem is, though, is that sort of shit would fly in Japan. That would only work for like a really, really niche audience in America. Like Americans want their fucking Fortnite. And you know what? Hey, you know what? If you're into Fortnite, whatever, you're into Fortnite. That's your thing. Because that's one thing that me and Cheetah were saying is that, you know what? You're into your thing. You know, it's like he's like, I hate management games. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's exactly why you don't like these sorts of games. Because you like Shenmue and shit like that. Because you have to be into like sim management type games, which are right up my fucking alley. But he also is not a fan of like real time tactics. But you know what I mean? So it's like people are into what they're into. But it's like an idea like that would only work in Japan.
I remember putting in Shenmue in the Dreamcast, and
Yeah.
not really liking it. You know what I mean? Like, but then I watched the guy do a gameplay of it, and I got into it because the guy goes from this point to that point. He's doing this, he's doing that, he's fighting, and the gameplay aspect I saw of it, the guy was trying to find the character that was promoting Dreamcast at the time, he's in the game, and he was trying to
Sagara
unlock
Sanshiro.
that guy.
Oh,
And so
he's in that
he
game.
was
That's
finding
cool.
that guy in a bar or something in the game,
Yeah.
and I got drawn in. So it just depends on how you play it. Like that's truly an open world game.
By every stretch of the imagination, because like what I was talking about is that it's like really interesting how like, oh well, I'm supposed to meet fuckface at the bar at 7 p.m. It's 2 p.m. So do I go to the parking lot and train so I can fight better, or do I just go to the capsule machines and get these cute little collectibles? And oh shit, I missed them today because I've been going to the capture machines. I hit everyone in the whole city.
So,
So I'll go to sleep and come back tomorrow. You know.
so Luke says that Ascension is still going on. It's not a game. It's an interactive app that has new episodes like a TV series. But that Silent Hill
Yeah.
thing.
Gotcha. Is
But
there
it is
nudity?
Silent Hill.
Yeah.
But everyone's shitting on it because they're like, oh, this is a stupid idea. What do you mean it's stupid? They did something different.
Hats off to Konami for doing something different.
Yeah.
When are they going to release Contra?
Isn't there a new one coming
Well,
out
I thi-
soon? I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's coming out for Switch and PS5, I believe.
I mean, shit, I'll check it out. I mean,
It's like, give us
Konami's
Castlevania,
dipping
man.
their eventually. I think Konami's just dipping their toes in right now, and they're coming out with like their guaranteed bangers. I mean, think about it. You're coming out with Silent Hill 2 and Metal Gear 3, which were like the most popular of the, you know, their respective franchises. Castlevania is a very varied franchise. You can't remake just one. You know, you have to remake the most popular one. So,
So Symphony of the
I
Night.
mean, like, yeah. So what I'd have to think is that they're gauging how well this shit sells, and guaranteed that if Metal Gear Solid 3, well, they're calling it Delta, which makes sense because they're essentially telling it from the beginning now instead of the way that Kojima did it, where it's like, okay, we're in this point, and then we're 20 years later, and then we're 10 years later, and now we're 40 years back. They're telling it from the 70s and then counting upwards into the 2000s, which should be a little bit more coherent for most people. But I know it's going to fucking do well because everybody wanted that one to be remade. And I know Silent Hill is going to do good because everybody wanted that one to be remade. So once those two come out and they see that, okay, video games are profitable, you know they're going to do Symphony of the Night. They're probably already working on a Symphony of the Night right now.
Luke says there's two
I mean,
new Silent Hill games coming out, and one of them's the remake of the second one.
Yeah, there's the remake of 2, and then there's Silent Hill R, which is an original story which is set in the 60s in Japan. And when I saw that, I was getting like the Grudge vibes in a good way.
That's interesting.
I think that's going to be fun.
60s Japan. What was the climate like in 60s Japan? Because I'm thinking after the bomb, they have a decade to recover. What's the economy like then in Japan?
The economy was very moderate at that point. Japan bounced back pretty quick.
Yeah, they did.
That's why a lot
They
of people
didn't
like
really
that
have to-
Yakuza game because they set it in the 80s and that was peak time for the economy in Japan. So the money was flowing in that game.
It shows it in Godzilla -1 how Japan bounced back.
But I mean, Japan bounced back pretty quickly. So I mean, like I don't know what the climate was like. I'm actually interested to know what it was like in the 60s.
I imagine they pretty much like came back for the most part. They're pretty industrial.
Yeah, I mean, life goes on.
Well, I mean, at that point, they were pretty much under control of the U.S. So it's like, you know what? That right there could be what it's about right there. It's just that point of transition where Japan started to kind of modernize and they were getting rid of the traditional thing.
Well, the 60s, they didn't really quite have a foothold in our market yet. Like, that was before the Casio watch and everything.
Yeah, 'cause Luke says they were still
Yeah.
rebuilding in the comments.
Yeah, so that's perfect for Silent Hill. a lot of countryside. Like, I've been watching a lot of shit about Japan, and their countryside is still a countryside. Like, they got metropolises like Tokyo, and then they got nothing. It's like the hills.
Because most of the population's like located near the coast. Because like it's hard because of like the mount. Because most of the terrain's just a bunch of mountains, you know, and very mountainous.
Yeah.
Can't really like live there, like do anything.
Son of a bitch. Anyways, if there was one culture that knows about spirits, who better than the Japanese?
And he's saying it had by the late '60s the economy had fully revitalized. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I kind of figured.
They know how to get shit done. I'll give them that.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But
And
you
I would
do
like to
realize anti-America.
see. You do realize.
Fuck you.
Damn.
Yeah, isn't Harley Davidson like Japanese now?
I know Kawasaki, but I thought Davidson was like American. It could be though.
They used to be.
Who knows anymore?
That was like one of my favorite jokes in Lethal Weapon 2. Then they were chasing the guys and they could hear like the voices over the radio. I'm like, what is that? Is that Japanese? What did Japan buy the LAPD? Well, they own everything else now. But I mean, you know, that would be that's perfect because you know what? At that point, they still had the scars of war and they were moving on from it. So imagine like the ghosts of like Hiroshima and Nagasaki and shit. That'd be fucking. It would be interesting just because they're not just going to Silent Hill, which I think has kind of been established that Silent Hill is like Dracula's castle. It changes every like iteration that they go through.
Yeah, so they could just use it to explore like post-war anxiety, like they did with the Godzilla movies. Do it like in horror. films.
Yeah, do it. And I know they're making a new Silent Hill movie, and the guy that made the Silent Hill movie's coming back, and he's got like storyboards and shit ready to roll.
Have you still not watched that Castlevania?
No, not yet. Dean, there's a lot of shit that I got to do.
I understand. Just know season
Dude,
2
I
is
bought
coming
an
out
L-shaped
between
desk, like,
November and February. So you have a lot to catch up on.
I bought a fucking L-shaped desk, and I'm still looking at the box. I haven't even like opened it yet.
The desk of an L in his room.
It's just there's so much shit to do, and it's like I don't want to fucking disconnect all this shit. I don't want to assemble this shit.
Come on, that's
No, I
what a
gotta
day
get up
off
for you.
is for. You get to have fun and build stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, think about it.
I-
What if you were Rabbit Dude and you couldn't build stuff? Look at you. You can build stuff.
Look at
Wait
this
a
fucking
minute.
weirdo. He can't even put his desk together.
Wait a minute, I built stuff.
Shut up, Rabbit Dude.
Does he build stuff with his sock collection?
Oh, he probably
build a
does.
pyramid
Oh, no.
with his crusty sock. I think Lewis came up with that one. Now I'm not gonna take credit for that.
I'm just fucking tired.
Tired? Okay. Well, you don't do nothing, right? Like drink or...
What do you mean I don't do?
No?
No.
Good. But you have... I don't know. I don't know what your excuse is, Fatal Vision. You're just tired.
I'm just wiped out from work and life.
Oh, okay. That can happen too.
I'm like long overdue for a fucking vacation.
Oh, yeah. I tell you, if you ever get COVID, enjoy that vacation.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks for you right there.
When did you get COVID, Dean? Like recently?
Yeah, it was about when was that? It was after it was before January 27th. So yeah, I had it a whole week before that.
I started saying,
No, I remember that's when you were sounding all fucked up.
Yep. That's when I did the Hyatt apology video.
I think I remember that now.
Yeah. Stupid ass video. My girl gave it to me, motherfucker.
She gave you a steak and she gave you a fucking death sentence.
That's right. Yeah. Are you on the same game with that anime chick?
Yeah, I've still been playing the same one.
Oh,
I died on one level. I could try a different one. Better with this.
Fatal, I'm pretty sure you've already covered this, but did you ever play PT?
No, but I played Visage.
Oh, I played Visage too. I'm going to say Visage doesn't hold up to PT. Visage is it's got a little bit more content, true enough, and PT's a demo, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the shit.
PT fucking got me in spots.
Yeah, I had to look it up too. It would be like one or two, and it's like, oh, really? You got to do something with that picture? Okay.
Well, I had parts where the game fucking scared the shit out of me, and I ain't gonna lie, it fucking got me.
Hell yeah.
Did you get to that part when the fucking appliances were talking?
Hell yeah. I mean, I have it on my main. I beat it and everything like that. Granted, being that it took me a little bit to get past a bunch of stuff, but yeah. Oh.
Great.
That thing was scary. But I tell you what, the scariest thing, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know, you might have. Resident Evil 7 in VR. Ooh. When that family starts looking at you, ooh.
VR is a whole new fucking ball game.
Yeah, that's why I said VR.
Yeah, see, that's part of the reason why I got to get off my ass and fucking put the desk together so that I can organize shit and I can try to see if I can hook the Oculus 2 up to this thing.
Oh, you got the Oculus, what is it, Quest 2?
I think it's the Quest 2, yeah.
Yeah. I went to GameStop recently. I was like, what's the difference between this Quest 3 and this Quest 2? Like, seriously, because they keep on dropping quests.
Yeah. I don't know. People sleep on VR too much.
I don't know if they sleep on it or if they just don't have the stuff to fuck with it.
Well, what I mean when I say people sleep on it, it's like they look at it and like, what are you going to do if you want to see what Sutton has to offer? You go on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
The majority of shit is you'll see like people playing kiddie shit, and they're like, "Well, I can't get into this." But like when you look at like the spooky games and shit, they're fucking amazing. Like there's this one game out, I think it's called like Dead Air or something like that. Something in that vein. But it's like you play a radio station DJ and you're getting phone calls from people and you're telling them what to do to avoid a serial killer.
Oh. Does it have the option or are you speaking to the microphone?
Oh, it's all you don't speak into the mic.
Oh, so it's A, B, C, or D. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where it's like, hurry, tell them what to, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Luke's
I
saying
like my
dead
VR.
air. Yeah, Luke's saying Dead Air. That sounds like a Carl Street.
Oof. Golly, Luke, you know where it hurts. God.
Slapping them. Slap, slap, slap.
Yeah, Luke is a witty one. I always tell him this. Like, he might be nice and chill, but poof, he has a mind more dangerous than all of us.
Right.
You don't see him coming.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, people sleep on VR. The sad thing is like I'm a wise ass. I'd actually have comedic shit on it. Like, I tried to see if I could get it working on my laptop. It wasn't happening. So there was like a third party way to do it where it was like I could stream on the Wi-Fi network and try to like broadcast to my laptop and then record it that way. But
Mm-hmm.
the quality was shit. But my kids wanted to see it and they watched it and it was like they thought it was the funniest shit ever because once again, I'm a smartass. I was playing Job Simulator because that's their favorite game.
Ah, Job
I've
Simulator.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, me and the
But
kid
it's like
played
I was
1 and 2. Yeah.
But I was like this pissed off chef. Like every order that I got, I was throwing the food at him. It was like, my son wants to know if you could toast this, please. So I was throwing the toast at the kid, and I was like, you know what, go fuck yourself. And then I was like grabbing the wine bottles and popping the cork and drinking. And then I was like pouring the wine in everyone's food and shit.
Yeah.
But they thought it was hilarious just because I'm being a wise ass. And it was like the one where you go into like working in the office. It was like, here, take a bite of this donut. I took a bite into the donut and then I threw it over me. It goes into the other cubicle. Someone dying?
I think that's Dean getting his car.
Yeah, I'm getting in my
Yeah.
car. I'm gonna talk to y'all later.
Yep. Have fun at work.
Be good. Drive safe.
All right.
Welcome
But
back,
like in the
Alex.
office, like I threw the donut. I threw the half-chewed donut over my shoulder. It goes into the other cubicle, and like the coworker looks over, like, "What the fuck?" So at that point, I just started throwing everything in my cubicle over there just to piss them off. So it's like that's the kind of wise ass shit that I do, and the kids thought it was great.
I've played a little bit of
It's just, I
VR,
think-
but not that much of it.
You just have to find the right shit. But I think people look at it and they think that this is just like for kids, and it really isn't. But people don't want to invest in it because, yeah, it's expensive. But and why would you invest in it if you don't think that you're going to play anything on it? I get it.
But Dean's got a lot
I
of
heard,
stuff he plays on it, though.
I heard fucking Woodhawker and that guy Will Wolf. They were doing a podcast, and they were talking about VR, and I agree with them.
Yeah.
They said that you got to get rid of the headsets. Like you got to make it to where it's just sunglasses like this, and just
Yeah.
incorporate it into your everyday thing. Because there's videos of people with VR sets on the train in New York and at the gym, and those are funny videos, but that's not practical. Like you can't bring that shit out to check your Twitter feed.
Yeah.
You talking about those Apple?
That's not
you talking about-
happening.
You talking about the Apple Vision?
Apple Vision, they have something called Horizon tied to Facebook.
Oh yeah, the Meta stuff. Yeah, I know what you're talking.
I mean, I don't need any of that shit. Like, give me a controller. What was Nintendo thinking when they made their Virtual Boy? What were they thinking, man? All red?
They weren't thinking at all.
I mean, really? Like, the buttons aren't even concave, so you don't even know what button you're hitting.
You can't even set the thing up.
Exactly. You can't strap it to your head. Like they supposedly were developing a strap for it, the strap to your head.
Nobody wanted to fucking buy
No,
that shit.
You gotta be like the nerd. Just tape it to your head.
Yeah, you could be
Oh, that
like
was great.
Rich from Rich.
Well, no, when AVGN covered it, that was great.
Oh yeah, just taped it to his head, and then he couldn't like just try to find the controller.
Yeah, he's banging in and shit.
Yeah.
That was great.
I know why they did it as a tabletop unit, because prolonged like there's a timer on Virtual Boy. If you play it for more than like an hour or two,
Go.
it'll give you timeout. Like, because you can't have that red shit in your eyes that long.
Make it go
Yeah, it'll
ballistic.
fucking destroy your vision, and Nintendo will get sued at the ass.
Exactly. So that's probably why they didn't include the strap. They were probably waiting for
Nope.
patents on that.
And Luke was saying about VR, no one wants to wear that shit on your head while playing games for hours. Exactly.
No, I mean, come on, it's not practical at all. So now they said it perfectly. It's an enthusiast toy. So like if you're really into it, like I have a friend that I grew up with. He's into it. He has an Oculus, and he
Yeah.
plays all that shit. He plays the virtual retro reimagined games, all that stuff, all the homebrew hacks. But
Yeah.
he's really into it. You know.
That's
I
not.
mean, that's the cool thing is like, there's like that one where like you're in like a room in the 90s and you get to play the video games and shit by grabbing the card. Yeah, that's cool.
Dean,
Now I
think,
saw
Dean's done that before, something similar.
I seen one that takes your environment that you're in, and then the game includes images that you have to attack. So like let's say you're in a room and you're playing it, you're actually looking at the room you're in, and then zombies will come walking into the wall.
Yeah, I saw that.
It looked horrible. Like the fucking it looked
like shit.
It looked like shit. It looks like nothing is like jives up. Riggs was promoting that. Dude,
Well, that's Riggs.
yeah, Riggs did a convention coverage. He did convention coverage of this convention where instead of having a convention hall, it's the booths are the individual vendors, they're hotel rooms. So the people redesign the hotel room to sell their goods. And it was weirdo. It was weirdo heaven, dude. Like you're walking in. Riggs walks into a room with his kid. He has his kid there. He must be a very robust man because, I wouldn't want to introduce my kids to all these weirdos at conventions, but he brings her to all the conventions. Good on him. He walks into the room and all these people, they're all dressed like vampires. They're all sitting out on the fucking balcony smoking. And then they come in because they have a customer. That's the convention.
Wow.
It was really weird. Riggs
Jesus
explained
Christ.
that's how conventions were in the 90s. You didn't have the money to have a hall, so. But they took over the whole hotel. Like they had the lobby, they had everything. Really
like
interesting.
back in the day, we used to go to like the flea markets out in Hoboken, like those outdoor flea markets. Those were cool.
Yeah, like Swap Shop. Swap Shop had outdoor flea markets.
I haven't been to a flea market.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go. The whole convention is you're just going to like old YouTubers' hotel rooms. That right there's a fucking lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah. These people. This one guy had all his goods out, and the guy was gone. Fucking like you could have just stole everything, but they said that it's not that kind of convention. It's like everybody's respectful of one another. Yeah.
I guess they have an honor system or something.
Yeah.
That's at times that it gives me hopes that not all is lost.
Yeah, it was actually comforting to watching this. It was like this guy has all his books out, self-published guy like Dagstein has all his books on display. Now, who wants to steal the guy's book? But at the same time, hey, why put them all away? Like, what the fuck? You want to steal a book? It's like the honor system.
No, it is comforting because I mean it's like, I mean let's face facts here. I'm not talking about us because we're cool with one another, but it's like we get surrounded by like the lowest of the lowest.
I mean, dude, I see security at these conventions, and I've heard about it firsthand. Like, I've heard people get interviewed on Pixel Plus. You talk about how they'll get their biggest friend, the guy with the most size on them, and he'll become a vendor there. They pay him a couple bucks, and he will watch everybody as they approach the table. Now, because thieves will hit you hard at those conventions.
Of course.
And then this guy just swoops in and says, "Hey, take everything out your fucking bag." It's like the conventions nowadays, they get hit with so much theft.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I want to go to Really Rad Weekend. That looks really great.
Well, I mean, when you said that, like that, it's like that though, where it's like they have like an honor system and people are respectful. that's where it like makes me feel like, yeah, not all of this is just people like in it for the money, you know?
Absolutely. They're in it for the money. They want to sell their goods, but at the same time, you know,
And I
at
mean,
the same
yeah,
time,
don't get me sideways. There's nothing wrong with doing this shit and you know, hoping to make some scratch out of this. There's collecting, there's doing YouTube. There's absolutely nothing wrong with expecting a little bit of money or hoping to get a little bit of money. I should
I mean,
change that expecting.
honor system. Dave, warehouse Dave, he has trade days that he used to host in his warehouse, but it's gotten so big where he has to get halls now. But he would have all these
Yeah,
vendors come in, and they're all his friends, friends, and it's in his warehouse. So all the items on the shelves, they're all belong to him. It's in a
yeah.
unit, like a storage unit. But like he'll have like 30 copies of Galactic Attack on Saturn on the shelf, and and
Yeah.
and
What?
someone's booth is set up in front of it, and he doesn't have any issues like that. Like no one takes anything from each other.
Yeah. See, I mean, it's like it's weird because like I go to retro stores all the fucking time, and it's like there's one that I went to where this is like a total trust fund kid who just he had money to burn, so he like bought up as much as he could off of eBay. You could just tell that there was no real care in it. But it's like it made me feel better going to like the one smaller shop that I went to when the guy came around the counter. He's like, "Hey, how you doing? What's your favorite game?" And he's like telling stories about playing the games and shit like that. That's to me that to me it's where it's at. It's cool to want to have a business out of this, but it's even cooler if you actually care about your business in the sense that you care about what you're selling.
Yeah, you make it an experience for the customer, not just a place to like to buy the stuff, stories and whatnot.
Oh, for sure. I think
Yeah,
most
it's
comic
like I
book
don't want to
shops
go
are
into
like that.
yeah, I don't want to go into a fucking retro shop where the kid behind the counter's on his phone and he doesn't even know half the shit that he's selling. I want a guy to be like, man, I remember when this came out because that to me builds a customer relationship.
Exactly. More likely to come back if you talk to them and stuff. Right.
It's getting harder
Yeah.
nowadays because you go into a GameStop and most of the people behind the counter, they're into modern games, not so much retro.
Well, that's all they have now is just all the modern shit, you know?
That's true, but supposedly GameStop, I've seen it on YouTube videos. They are bringing back uh, Wii games, PS2, some carts, and they have some of the high traffic GameStop locations. They have the carts put out, so it's like going back in the early 2000s. So you can go in there and pick up Genesis
Yeah.
carts.
Well, let's hope they know what the fuck they're talking about then, you know?
Yeah,
Probably
and that's the other
collectibles.
thing. These videos attached to it, if you look it up on YouTube, there's people selling fake Pokemon games, like you know,
Oh boy.
yeah. So the clerks have to get knowledge in how to fucking check for Nintendo codes on the boards, how to check the screw patterns, how to check all that shit because they're gonna get
Yeah.
fucking burnt.
So Volp's saying
Oh
that
no, they're gonna get fucked.
Volp's saying Americans are #1 for customer service. You guys should try shopping in Europe. Most staff don't give a crap. I guess
Yeah, man. I
I
mean,
can imagine.
because we have so many options here. Like in Europe, you have a town, you're limited to space, and it's different. Now, uh, yeah,
Well, it's
yeah,
not
I've
even
seen,
that. It's also culture too.
yeah, and you know what? He has a point. Like I've seen pubs in England, and they could give a fuck less about you. Like you come into a bar, you think the bartender's gonna come up to you and get your drink order? No, you got to go find him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, come on, man. I don't want to hear your fucking life story.
Yeah. In
Remove our
Japan,
fucking problems.
it's either if you're doing food and beverage, you're gonna have people right there on top of you all the time.
It's
But
either very, very polite or it's very, very get to the point over there.
yeah, like I noticed the game shops are very like by the numbers. Like you pick up the game, sometimes you have to pay automated. It's not even like an
Yeah.
active clerk.
Yeah. But
not
once again, it really is cultural. Like over in Germany, they tried doing Walmarts out there, and it fell flat on its ass.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is like they tried doing it the same way that they do Walmarts in America, where it's like they have greeters, and Germans are like, "What the fuck?"
We just want
Uh,
to.
They don't need that
and
extra shit.
Germans,
I've seen the German
don't.
model.
Yeah.
Aldi. That's a German model. It's like bring your own fucking cart. We're not going to
Mhm.
provide you with bags,
Nope.
and look for your shit. And
Yeah.
and sometimes you have to take the stuff off the pallet yourself. Like it's all there on a pallet because they don't have
Yes, you
people to
do.
pay for stocking.
Well, that and the reason why is because typically Germans, they don't want someone else handling their food. They want the butcher to cut the meat, and it goes right to their hands.
Yeah, like Penn Dutch. Like that's a
Germans are not about middlemen shit. It's point A to point B. If you're going to try to introduce a C, D, E, F, typically Germans are like, get that shit out of here.
I mean that's how you keep costs low.
It's also an efficiency thing, and it's also a sanitary thing. Like Germans just
Yeah.
don't believe in unnecessary conversation. So a greeter is out of the question.
I used to love
And
watching.
once again, having a cashier like take your food and scan it. No, they don't do that shit. You go up and you fucking ring that shit up yourself.
They got self
There's a,
checkouts over there. Then
There's a German bodybuilder, this guy Marcus Roll, and he has these videos
Yeah.
of him shopping in Germany at the supermarket, and he's in a shirt that's ripped like Hulk Hogan, like basically he's naked, okay?
Yeah.
And he's pushing the cart. He's like 3 times bigger than the cart, and just buying all kinds of shit. And everybody's looking at him like, dude, who are you shopping for? A whole fucking family? He's buying all his meals for for prep.
Yeah.
And it's pretty funny. Like all the sideways look he gets. He's basically buying like 100 eggs at one time, a side of meat.
Yeah, we're very matter of fact people, and we also have a very dark sense of humor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
like
that game-
Arnold is like Arnold is a fucking one in a million when it comes to that, but he's also Austrian. Like having that sense of humor and that comedic timing, that's not very Germanic.
Right, yeah, he's totally Austrian.
But you know what? That's also sometimes where it really worked to his advantage because, like, one of the funniest things I ever saw in the Terminator was in the first one after he got hit by the truck, and he gets in and he just looks at that guy and he's like, "Get out." I thought that was fucking hilarious because you could see the look on his face, and you could even tell that for a robot, he was over this shit. He's just like, "Get
Yeah,
out! I don't even have
for
time
sure.
to kill you." But also, like the scene when the fucking fat guy's knocking on the door, he's like, "Oh, do you have a dead cat in there?" And then it runs through possible responses, and then it searches, toot, 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 "Fuck you, asshole."
Yeah, I love watching that. That's great on watchbacks. Watching like the responses and shit when it's in the red.
Yeah, I love that. I don't know, like Terminator to me, I always feel that the first one was the best one out of all of them.
I agree.
I know people
Oh.
say the second one was amazing.
No question. Like the second one didn't age well, in my opinion. Like the T-1000 was cool as fuck, and
Yeah.
Robert Patrick, he did a great job.
Phenomenal.
But I mean, and and Eddie Furlong was good, but I don't know. The whole
They were
movie
all good.
is the movie's like, it's not as good as the first one.
Well, the thing is that to me, I feel that Terminator 2 was a little too much like the first one. You had a truck chase, like it had the exact same shit happening.
I think you would probably know better than me. It seems like James Cameron was trying to redo scenes and trying to do things that he couldn't do with the budget with part one.
That's what I felt like because they just went for the same shit. They even had the whole moment where it was like the standoff. Like instead of being at the club, it was in that mall hallway.
Oh man, but the club standoff was the best.
That was amazing. Like, that was one of the coolest shots ever when she knocked over the glass and bent down to pick it up. And right
So
at that
great.
moment is when the Terminator like looked over and it slowed things down. You hear the music fading. It was great.
And well lit too. You're talking about an enclosed area. They lit it perfectly, and you know they did that
Yeah,
in an actual nightclub.
Yeah, that's on
'cause-
Pico.
Yeah, because they did all the filming for the first movie at night. They didn't have like permits. It's so low budgets.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie almost didn't get made. Like, he threw it in the garbage, and his wife at the time picked it up, and she bought it off of him for $1. And then
Yep.
she's like, "I'm going to make a couple phone calls."
And Orion
But-
picked it up, and it became a surprise hit.
But speaking
Yep.
about Arnold, when it comes to bodybuilding, there was a guy I follow. This guy Lauren. He's a bodybuilder, and
Yeah.
he's telling everybody on Twitter. He's like, don't overcomplicate your fucking life with these gurus that want to tell you to eat at this time, to train this way, all this bullshit. They just want your money. And I added in.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Arnold. The Arnold method of building muscle is the best. Just keep it fucking simple. It's not overcomplicate things. All you gotta do is move
No, you
weight.
don't
That's
have
it.
to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, all you
Well,
gotta do
the
is
other
get in this
problem
fucking
too
gym
is,
and do it.
Well, the problem with going to the gym and like bodybuilding and shit like that, and this is coming from a gym rat, is you can't listen to all that shit because everybody's metabolism is unique, everybody's body is unique, and plus people come about it all fucking sideways. Where they're like, well, if you want to lose weight, you need to do cardio. No, you need to fucking build muscle. Because
Yes.
while you're working out, if you build 5 pounds of muscle and you're still working out on a constant basis, you are going to lose weight. But you're going to lose 3 pounds of muscle and still retain the other 2 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, I mean, cardio a lot of times will strip muscle off your body.
Yes.
It's
And it's still gonna-
counterintuitive.
It's still going to keep the fat though. Whereas when you're building
exactly.
muscle, that's taking over the fat.
It,
So
it-
it's like just
your
fucking
body will
strength training.
burn your body will burn whatever's readily available. And on the cardio aspect, a lot of these guys, they'll go running after eating a meal. It's like, dude, all you're burning is glycogen. You're not burning
you're
any
gonna
fat.
Puke,
Yeah, and you're gonna puke.
and you're going to puke your ass off.
Yeah, a lot of these gurus, they try to find the easiest way, and to see how these guys can get results in a month. Dude, a crash diet like that will fuck up your body for longer than a month.
Yeah. But you know what? Here's the other thing too. It's like an add-on to what you just said. They're always looking for the easiest way. Working out is not supposed to be easy.
Nope, you gotta fucking sweat. And free weights is the best way to go. Like a lot of these guys,
Absolutely.
well, I have back pain, I have this and that. It's like, dude, you gotta fucking squat. Like doing a leg press ain't a squat.
Yeah. No, you got to squat. And you know what? Even if you have back pain, do it fucking 20 pounds under the average then. But do it because you know
gotta
what?
do
Once
the
you start
movement.
building up muscle in that back, you're going to feel a lot less pressure.
Yeah. Even a guy who's heavy, and he does a squat motion without any weight, still gonna get more of a workout on all the quads.
Yeah. It's just that it does get overcomplicated, and once again, it's like you said, they're looking for the easiest way to do it when it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's not. Like the right way is never going to be easy.
Yeah.
And just doing all this shit like I'm just going to drink all my fucking nutrients. It doesn't work that way.
No, sir. Because your body just turns that all into sugar, and now you're more fat than
Yeah.
before. And a lot of people, they overeat. Like they'll do some weak little fucking workout, and then they'll try to get their anabolic window maximized, eating all this fucking food, and all they're doing is putting on fat. They're not putting on mass.
Well, what about this guy who says that he's eating like 7 meals a day? Yeah, this guy's also counting his fucking calories, and he's in the gym like fucking 4 hours a day.
Yeah, and plus a lot of the guys that are pros, they're also taking gear. So all that shit
Mhm.
added together means they're gonna look ripped.
It's just you got to do it. You just have to go out and do it. And I mean, it's not going to be easy, but it could be simple. And I mean, that's all there is to it. It's just
Yeah.
do the free weights.
I mean, the simpler
Warm
it
up,
is, the
warm
simpler it
down.
is, the simpler it is, the more a person's gonna stick to it.
Yeah,
Hey, Cheetah,
it's just I
what was
don't
Yeah.
buy into that shit.
Yeah, what's up?
what was that game you were playing earlier? It looked like Virtual On.
That's Bulk Slash for the Saturn. I was
Man,
playing
it looks like Virtual On.
Yeah, I was playing it
Yeah.
for a while, but it got too hard after a while. So
Did they make a twin stick controller for the Saturn? I know they probably made one in Japan, but not in America.
they probably did for Virtual. And at least I would imagine, I would hope so.
I think they did.
I don't think that it might have been like an aftermarket part.
Aftermarket, yeah.
Yeah, like a Hori thing.
Look at
Yeah, because the Saturn did not have a stick. Period.
They had one for Dreamcast.
Yes, they did. You know, one thing I am noticing though, the Saturn controller that I got from Japan isn't as bulky as the American one.
No, I'm looking it up. They did do a twin stick controller Saturn for
I'm-
Virtual.
So they
Okay,
did do it
cool.
later.
Yep, they did. So
Dude, if I had all the money in the world, I don't know if the game's any good. I would want to get that Steel Battalion controller, the one for Xbox.
Oh, I had that. That was the shit.
You had it? Holy shit!
Yeah,
With the
I had
pedals
that
and
on the
everything.
Xbox. Yeah, and you had to flip the switch and hit the eject button, otherwise you lost your shit.
They had one. They had one at the GameStop I used to go to all the time. They had it there in a box. It's huge.
How much was it though? Do you remember?
It was $200 and some dollars, 200 and change for the game
Yeah, see,
and the
then
whole setup.
Yeah, then it's gone down in price because when I worked at Game Crazy back in the early 2000s, we were selling that motherfucker for $350.
Whew. That was
I got
brand
a
new.
10% employee discount.
$350. Wow.
Yeah, but you know what? It was awesome. It was
How was
really,
the
really
game,
cool.
though?
The game wasn't bad. It was really like immersive. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing that's absolutely going to blow your shit away. And I mean, like mech games to me, I feel have kind of gone down. Like I got Armored Core Rubicon, that new one that just came out. It looks
Yeah, the
pretty, but it
PS5.
hasn't grabbed me.
Okay, so I heard the knock against it. A lot of people like it because it's their first introduction to Armor Core. But I remember the
It's
old
not
Age
like the originals.
yeah, the old Age Tech ones on PS2. Like, talk about frustration. Like, they're fun, but you get your fucking shit
Yeah.
rocked. and a lot of people are saying, you know, it's good, but it feels like you're playing like a regular shooter. Like, you don't really get that mech
Yeah.
feel. You don't get the bulk feel.
No. You don't get that feeling like there's weight behind your movement, you know?
I tell you what was good. You didn't feel weight behind the movement, but a good series was Zone of the Enders. I like both those games.
Zone of the Enders was really good. That was a Kojima product, too.
Yeah.
See, there was a game, and not many people have heard of this one. It came out on the PS2, but it was called RAD, Robot Alchemic Drive.
That's based
Ever
on an
heard of it?
anime. No, and yes, I've heard of it. The acronym is like is RED, like RAD, right?
Yeah, and it's Robot Alchemic Drive.
Okay, yeah, I remember it was like big letters in the front of the box.
Yeah, and it's
I
got a
remember seeing
picture
it
of
on
a
the
fucking
shelf.
mech stepping over a building, right?
Yes, I remember it.
Now, the cool thing about this was, and see, this is where I feel that like PS2, Xbox, and GameCube were the best era for gaming. Because everybody had bangers and everybody was still, you know, trying out new shit and thinking outside the box, which they don't do no more.
No,
With RAD, what would happen is you had instead of just like controlling a mech and fighting kaiju, you were the guy that controlled the mech. So what would happen is like you played this small guy on the ground, average everyday citizen, when shit would go downhill. And then the fucking thing would rise up out of the ground like a Megazord, and you were supposed to go like say jump like because you had like a little jetpack, right? So you would like jet on top of a building, and then you would hit select, and it would go to a first-person viewpoint from wherever you were standing, and then you pulled out the remote control pad and you controlled it from there. So L1 and L2 was the left foot and the right foot, so you had to like do it in a rhythm,
I don't know
and then the
about
left
that.
and right analog stick were your arms.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that sounds way complicated.
No, it's super easy once you get into it. It is complex at first because it's new, but once you do it, it's phenomenal.
Complex
Because you
was
can start like,
Complex was Gun Griffin
Huh?
Blaze, the working designs game on PS2. That was complex. That game,
yeah.
I would die the first screen all the time.
Damn.
You
But I
remember,
mean,
you remember that one?
RAD. I do remember that. Yeah, I never played it, but I do remember seeing it.
Yeah.
But like
That's
RAD
interesting,
was
though.
awesome just because RAD was cool because it did something different. And when you got those controls down, like you could use the left and right analogs to fucking like dial up like combos and shit, and it looked great. And it was just cool because once again, it's like any other game. Like if it was today, it would have just been okay. You got a view inside of the fucking thing. This was cool because you had to like also, oh fuck, they're moving behind a bunch of buildings, so I have to hit select and then go over to a new vantage point. And you could even like get on the thing's shoulder and do it from there, or you could do it from the ground and you'd look up at it and see this titanic battle happening.
That's interesting. Imagine the programming
It
involved
was
in that
really
game.
interesting. A lot of programming, and I thought it was done well. I mean, the voice acting, what do you want? But the
Voice
concept I
acting don't
thought was
matter
great.
when the game's good.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Metal Saga. That's another one, like an RPG that people sleep on. Have you heard of that one?
Vaguely,
What
Metal
console?
Saga.
What console?
PS2.
Oh, PS2.
PS2. It was made by Atlas, and you played like a group of people in like a post-apocalyptic world, and you got to control tanks. Like you would go around exploring, and you like unearth real tanks.
Interesting.
But you were
I
like
remember,
also like a
I remember the
bounty hunter and
Konami
shit.
game, Ring of Red. That was pretty cool. Strategy game.
Oh yeah, I love Ring of Red.
That was good.
Now, hold on. I'm not sure if we're talking about the same one here because the one that I'm thinking of has red too. But it was like there's a war going on, and like it would be a turn-based thing. And when you got into a fight with somebody, you could move the vehicle forward, you could move it backwards, and you had a supporting squad that you could send forward too.
That's Ring of Red. It's a
Yeah.
real-time strategy.
I love that fucking game.
It's a good game.
Great, and it looks phenomenal too.
It was an early title too.
Mm-hmm. That was a good one. We're gonna have to show it on the channel sometime.
Yeah, it's fun.
It really is, and I mean, like that's why I say this was the best era because they were still thinking outside the box.
I tell you that's a definite. It's definitely one of the best because they were definitely thinking outside the box. I'm more nostalgic for the for fourth gen, Super Nintendo, Genesis, but PS2 is right there.
I'm always going to have a soft spot for Genesis for both eras in their own like respects.
I
But,
mean,
like,
those
PS1,
three gens.
I feel was a special era.
PS1 was a great era, especially for an RPG fan like myself.
Yeah,
But
the issue with PS1 was they owned the whole era. Like Saturn wasn't really a contender here in the States.
No. And that's what we were talking about earlier, how Saturn just always fucked themselves up because they felt like they had to compete.
I mean, like the games that they didn't bring to the States were like, what were they thinking? In place of other games.
Yeah,
Saturn,
Yeah,
Sega.
those RPGs.
like all the sports games and stuff. They thought they could keep doing that, and that didn't work out.
It's like, dude, they kept hitting the same drum over and over again. How was Burning Rangers when you played it, Cheetah?
I didn't play
Burning Rangers is so good.
I was playing Bulk Slash. I haven't played Burning.
Okay.
Oh, you're missing out, dude. Try it. It's great.
I played it before, but I was saying I haven't played it on this stream.
All right.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it.
What do you call it? A good Dreamcast one that I had was called Blue Stinger.
I've heard of that's like a horror.
Oh, Blue
type game.
Stinger,
That's like
Dreamcast. Yeah, that's good.
A horror game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think
That's
I
a
It's
fun
kind of
game.
like a survival horror-ish. But
Yeah,
the cool
my
thing
kid-
about it is like this was one of those early Dreamcast titles, and like that was probably the game that really set in for me how cool Sega was at times,
it
where
was
they would
fun.
like think about doing shit like, oh, if you played the game on Christmas, shit would be on sale, it would be snowing and stuff like that.
that's cool.
Yeah, that was my sister. My sister's the one that had the Dreamcast, and she picked it up
Yeah.
that day with Blue Stinger. She bought Blue Stinger and Legacy of Kane at Electronics Boutique, and
Oh, Soul Reaver.
yeah, and she liked Blue Stinger because she likes that kind of shit. Like she wanted she wanted Code Veronica. She picked up Code Veronica like the next day, and
Yeah.
she had to go to a different store to get it. But she was playing Blue Stinger. And when she stopped
Mhm.
playing Blue Stinger, I was playing Legacy of Kane. I fucking love that game.
Legacy of Kain was a shit.
Yeah, I had to pick up my own Dreamcast because I couldn't play hers all the time.
Oh no, because yeah, I could just see the fucking fights in the house at that point.
Well, plus I had to go to her house to play it, and you know I only stayed
Yeah.
there the weekend.
Well, yeah, then it's like, fuck, I don't want to wait. I want to play the shit now.
I
Legacy
play
of
it
Kain
now.
was cool.
Yep.
It got too complex for its own good, though.
They made it, but you see what they did once again, the PS2 era. They made a Soul Reaver 2, which was like Soul Reaver, but with what's the guy's name?
Raphael.
There you go. And they made it all Soul Reavers type shit. Then they had Blood Omen, which is a similar mechanic, but still
Yeah,
different.
it was
It
okay.
was unique. And then they merged the two for Defiance. It's like genius.
That and the storyline, it just got way too fucking convoluted. And you know what?
Storyline, yeah.
Everything was fine. It's until you introduce time travel that you start really fucking with the story.
They had to
Because you
because
think that time
it's so
travel will,
definitive.
yeah, but the thing is like once you start to get shit where it's like, oh yeah, we'll just do time travel because that'll, we can throw continuity out the window. That only works once. It doesn't work for 3 more sequels.
And what were they doing with the original Blood Omen? Because I owned it and I tried playing it. It seemed like Gain Ground to me. Like it was an overhead view.
Yeah.
And it was confusing. I didn't understand what was going on. Like you were controlling other people.
Well, that was like with one spell. I don't. If I go without ever playing Blood Omen again for the rest of my fucking life, I'll be a happy man.
Yeah, exactly. It was not fun.
Well, it was fun the first time. Like for me, I fucked it up because the thing is like doing these goddamn reviews. When I hear other YouTubers say, "Well, this shit ain't easy," I'll say, "Yeah, it ain't fucking easy when you got to clean up your mistakes." But at the same time, it should be fun. I've had my fuck ups. Like, I was going to do a review of Legacy of Kain. So I played through the entire game. Something got fucked up with it. So I had to go back and do it again. You're talking 55 hours of gameplay. So at that point, by the time by that point, we're getting to like the second playthrough. So what's that? 110 hours that I'm sinking into this shit?
There's no.
I was like, no, I
I
can't.
would stop. I would stop
Yeah,
after I
I
got
stopped
stuck.
doing reviews altogether because of it.
Hey, so you're into buying retro tech now. A buddy of ours
depends.
picked up. He get this. He picked up what's called a PS2 debug unit, region free.
Ooh, I know those.
It plays Burns right out the box.
Yep.
And the one he got is a slim version, and it's white. He paid $115 for it.
That's not bad.
No,
No, it's not bad at all.
he showed me a DM. So I was like, wow, that's fucking awesome.
It's fucking sweet.
Oh, he picked up another. He picked up another game. He picked up a Saturn game. Woolly Wombat.
Willy Wombat. I've heard of that one.
I've heard of Willy Wombat.
Yeah, he got that shit complete.
Nice.
Yeah.
I never played it. It just didn't sound like something that I would ever want to get. But
Yeah,
I have heard
I
of
think this
them. I
guy's
heard good
going for a
things.
complete set. I think he's going for a complete set.
A Saturn?
Yeah, U.S. But but he has a shitload of fucking Japanese exclusives.
Yeah, the Japanese exclusives you can find dirt cheap. If he's going for the U.S., he's looking at least dropping 60K, like 60 grand.
Yeah, because isn't House of the Dead Japan way cheaper than the U.S. version?
Absolutely.
Yes, I don't. I'm not really quite sure what he's doing because I'm pretty sure he would settle for the Japanese version. Although I've seen him, he buys multiple versions of the same game just because he's a fan of it.
Yeah. I can understand that. I mean, like,
He's
I'll
the
buy the
guy.
Japanese ones.
He's the guy. He did the House of the Dead on Wii.
Mhm.
No. What's the new one that was on Switch?
Yeah, the remake of the first one, ain't it? I think.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
remade it.
he played that, and Radical Reggie was creaming his pants watching him play it.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Reggie popped up. He's like, his jaw was dropped. He's like, oh man, I want to get this fucking game because Reggie loves those fucking. I tell you, Reggie had a good idea. He took all of his horror games for PlayStation 3 and put them in red boxes, like the greatest hits, and it looks great. Like exactly what your horror games are. They're all red. Not a
Oh,
bad
poor
move.
Cheetah. You're playing Star Wars. You're playing Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, you're watching the gameplay. Hey, Justy wanted me to play Star Wars Atari, so you know what? I was playing the arcade.
Yeah, I'm just pulling it up now on the computer.
I remember I was at a campsite, a KOA here in Florida, and inside of the place where you go take showers and stuff, they had the arcade, Star Wars arcade, and I had the Ewok game on it. It had the TIE fighting segment, and
Yeah,
the fucking
and
controller.
the AT-AT thing.
Yeah, and the controller would shock you from time to time, like it wasn't grounded properly,
Oh
so you get like
shit.
you get like a shock.
I guess it's like.
Oh
I
God.
guess that's how I'd feel after they got hit by a TIE fighter. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I remember liking that though. It was fun.
Yeah,
It's fucking hard as fuck.
Star Wars Arcade's good, but like the controls for Bane, you have to it's hard to adjust them, right? Like you gotta play it with like whatever it actually.
Yeah, the arcade had
Yeah, you
had
really
like
gotta
a
screw
had
with
like a
it.
controlling like a steering wheel.
Like an analog type thing, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, some things need a trackball. Like I never knew because I back growing up I had the Arkanoid with the little trackball, and I never thought to hook that up to play Marble Madness because I have Marble Madness too.
Yeah.
And I heard that changes the whole gameplay, but I got so used to doing it with a D-pad that Marble Madness was like a favorite of mine. Like I can get pretty far in that.
That game's hard. Like I can play the Genesis version. Genesis version's probably the one that I'm best. It's still kind of pretty
I can't
tough.
believe they made a sequel to it. I never even knew they did that.
I didn't know it either.
I'm just reading this transcript here, and Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, this game.
What transcripts?
Oh, just a certain idiot.
A game that I wanted to like that I rented multiple times and
Yeah.
was Super Star Wars on Super
Oh
Nintendo.
God. Yeah.
It's just too hard. It's fucking like
It is.
impossible.
It's so hard.
I know. But people wanted me to stream that shit once, and I like this was just like one of those fucking throwaway streams that I did, where I was like, yeah, we'll play like 70 different games. I threw on Super Star Wars, and I'm like, fuck this.
And the graphics were amazing. Like, but dude, it's
They
fucking.
were, and the music was good, and I mean, they got it right with Empire. How do you go off on somebody and then lecture them about buying CDs and telling them, "Oh, well, when I buy CDs, I have scratch." Oh my God! This is such
What
incoherent
transcript you're reading?
You'll realize it.
Justy said,
Just burying somebody up north, apparently.
Yeah, Justy said, Cheetah, please let them know to please share about video games I'd never heard of. What? I don't know what he's saying, but don't know what you're talking about,
Video,
Justin.
video games.
Here's fucking B-52 again. What the hell is up with this goddamn thing?
I don't know why. I just thought of that one for some reason. This is a weird one though. B-52. I was playing a little bit of this one.
It's like ever
Oh,
since I
B-52,
bought
you're
that
playing it.
fucking game.
That's the
Ever
Carmack
since I
game.
bought that game and Big Nose, it's been like everybody's been playing B-52 and Big Nose.
Oh, really? Everyone's playing B-52. Who's been playing B-52 now? Kind of.
I don't know.
Is it a standalone card or no? B-52 is a standalone card because I know Fatal
It's
has
a
it.
standalone, yeah.
That's standalone. Yeah.
We keep talking about games that Justy has no clue what they are.
Bro.
I was watching.
Look, we're talking about like PS2 shit.
I was watching a thing about homebrews, and a lot of those Codemaster games are getting transferred to Amiga, the card-based system. Not even the 32.
I know. I looked it up, and B-52 got a Commodore 64 ports.
Wow.
What kind of game is it? Is it a shooter?
Yeah, you're flying around.
It is.
You have to fly around as a bee, and you have to collect the honey for the flowers and go back to your hive.
And he shakes his ass when he looks in holes.
Yeah. Like it's a pretty I guess interesting game.
It's different.
It
Yeah.
doesn't look terrible.
No.
Yeah, there you go. You got some honey.
My favorite Codemaster game was Micro Machines.
I think a
Yeah.
lot of people like that one.
Love that shit. Super
Look out
Nintendo.
for the spider.
Oh yeah, the spider. Yeah, no. Let's try to look at the.
So this is kind of like Shoplifter.
Yeah, kind of. I could sort of. I mean, I think this one's a little easier than Choplifter.
Oh fuck yeah, Shoplifter was a pain in the ass.
Shoplifter. Oof.
But it's like Shoplifter.
fuck.
And instead of picking up like prisoners, you're picking up honey and then you're taking it back. So
I
Albo,
played that on my
essentially what it
Master
is,
System.
I had that on Master System too. I'll never forget that fucking tune as long as I live. But yeah, it's like you start off on the right, you go to the left, and then you got to bring it back, and then you go a little further out. And the ant is coming to steal your shit.
I wonder what the ant did, because it just sort of hang around at the bottom. Because I know you got to watch out for the spider and the caterpillar. Assuming that's a caterpillar.
What did Riggs do now?
Briggs moped reviews over the NES. Oh yeah, when he was showing for the mopeds and stuff. Wow, for some reason.
He
Oh, Lord.
still is.
Oh, he still is.
Well, yeah. He has a recent one. He's got a whole collection of those things,
Where's
like
he put them all at?
in his garage.
Or under his hat.
Yeah. He was complaining that he didn't
had
bring
to-
one to the convention that he went to because the hotel was far away from any sort of convenience store, so he couldn't get a soda.
He hides that shit in like the back flap of his hair.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. I wouldn't surprise me now.
Thank you.
Yeah, Riggs is a big boy.
He gets. Oh my god. There you go. You stung. You put your ass on the thing's head and it killed it.
I can do it for the ant too. Once I kill it, you gotta sting someone. What
He
they
shakes
kinda
his little ass.
Yeah, when he collects the flower.
That's a
yeah.
fucking lawn sprinkler.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you can't let the ant go to the hive or he's gonna steal your honey.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So, what? Oh, I hit the wall. Gotta be. Yeah, if you hit something too hard, it knocks it back.
Rabbit Dude's having an
But you see,
AI
like,
meltdown.
See, like what Justy's saying right there. That's just like that's what I fucking bitch about, and it's like people try to counter it with like, "What, you got something against people making money?" No, I don't have like an issue with people making money. It's when it's all about money. You know, that's when it just kind of seems like scuzzy to me.
Yeah, disingenuous.
Sure. Yeah, like that guy, the Rock Solid Productions.
Like he gets mopeds for free and then he flips them and gets a profit out of them.
Of course. That's Justy's main man, though, is John Riggs.
Like main man, like good buddy, or like mortal enemy?
No, he just likes to follow him. That's all.
Dude, I was watching an old Amico influencers of 2019 video. It's got John Riggs, John Hancock, Metal Jesus, and RGT85 all promoting the Amico.
Yeah, I remember when John Riggs
Yeah.
did that video, like reason when he was still
Yeah.
showing for it, reasons not to buy it, like stupid
Yeah.
stuff.
Do not buy the television Amico. And it's funny because we got the video. Justy puts it into his video, and then that video disappears.
Oh
Ugh.
wow. Of course.
Yep, got to sting that ant.
No, it's the spider that got me. I was trying to.
I must be held back on time.
Yeah, it's a delay.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a delay. Yeah, it's always a delay.
Yeah,
whenever
that's
you-
on 2 lives.
Yeah, it's like a 50. I think it's like a 10-50-second delay when you're on.
Yeah, speaking about money, RGT recently said when he did his video about Phoenix resale, before Heck and Steve got fucking buried on his own channel, RGT did this video on Phoenix resale, and he was basically saying, if a fan comes up to me and wants to buy one of my games and I sign it for him, and he used Super Mario Brothers for instance, and he wants to buy it off of me for $100. He's like, what's the big deal? I'll sell it to him for $100. It's like, what's the big deal? Like, why would you want to rip off a fan? How about just signing it for free and selling it for a normal price?
No. Go. Ah. No, I'm just going. I get this.
Yeah, because your name's gonna fucking make it that much more valuable.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, when the person wises up, like down the road somewhere, when he looks at the fucking game that he bought for $100 off of you, he's gonna feel burned by you. Like, you have to think that way. That's why Charles Martinet, everyone's all fucking they're all happy about that guy. Oh, he retired and this and that. That guy used to charge, like, just to meet him, some exuberant amount of money.
That's what Dean was saying. Yep.
And he was a fucking jerk off.
Unlikable. Yep.
That's stupid.
It's like, bro,
That's really stupid.
he hit the jackpot. Like, dude, you do voice for Mario. Like, come on, man. And
You make him beg.
why Nintendo allows him to go out there and do that kind of shit. Like with Howard Stern, when Howard Stern would have Jackie going out and when he was trying to sell shit, trying to rip his audience off, Howard would crack down on him and say, dude, you can't do that because you make me look bad.
Yeah. And it's true.
Yeah, I mean, I your job is here. That's why they got rid of Jackie. It's like, your job is here, not Jokeland.
Well, that and Jackie would put up shit like Jackie the Joke Man from the Howard Stern show.
Yes, that was the big vote of contention.
Yeah. Like when I worked on the Friday the 13th movie, and I was hanging out with Steve Dash, he told me this story. Like, he fucking had a huge beef with Warrington Gillette. Now, that name probably doesn't mean much to anybody, but like Warrington Gillette was one of the Jasons in part 2, right?
Okay.
In part 2, when Jason flies through the window at the end and you see his face exposed, that's Warrington Gillette. But through like 70% of the Jason appearances, it's Steve Dash. But Warrington Gillette got the credit for it.
So
just
at the end of
because
the
he was the
movie,
face or some shit like that.
oh, that's fucked up. It should have had split credits.
Yeah, at the end of the movie, it says Warrington Gillette because, well, the way that Dash told the story is, and I got to do that fucking nasty Brooklyn accent that he had. See, what they did is they called me up when I was in Pennsylvania, and they told me that this fucking guy here, he came on set, he lied, he said that he was a stuntman. He couldn't even jump through a fucking window. They had to hook up a goddamn rig to him and make him fly through the thing like Peter fucking Pan.
Oh, Billy can't even jump through a.
That's what I was gonna say. So I'm assuming when I hear that, I'm assuming Steve Dash got stuntman credits, which is different.
Yeah, he did get a stunt credit, but the thing is that for 70% of the movie, he was Jason, and he was brought on after they hired Gillette. But here's where the beef came in. Someone went up to Dash and said, "Hey, go take a look at what Warrington's got on his table." So Dash moseyed on over down there, and he's like, "I looked down at the table, and he's got fucking photos of me, and he's signing his name on it."
That's fucked up. That is
Yeah.
fucked up. You gotta
So
have the
that's why,
fucking Jason Voorhees face on there.
yeah, the one of him popping through the window, fine. But here's the thing: if you ever see a Steve Dash autograph, and you can look it up right now if you want, you'll know that it's authentic when it says Steve Dash, the real Jason.
Did Steve Dash ever come
Because
back and do any other Jason work?
he came back for our Friday the 13th, and that was his last role before he passed away.
Okay.
We had no idea how sick he was. He didn't say shit about it. He was in the hospital before we started filming, and he was such a stand-up guy that he checked himself out because diabetes had necessitated it to the point where he had to lose his leg.
Oh my
So
god.
he's like, you know what?
That's awful.
He's like, I'll have the shit chopped off after the fucking film because I said I was going to be in it. If we had known, we wouldn't have fucking let him do it if we knew that there was like a health issue. But he didn't want to let anybody know. So we found out past the fact because it was like he did all of his shit. He was great. He was fucking hilarious. He was a little intimidating. Like when I met him, you know, I was just like, I got to say, you scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. And you know what he said? Good.
Good, exactly. If you don't mind me asking, what Friday the 13th did you work on? Because I don't really know that.
Vengeance. It's a fan film.
Okay, got you. Yeah, but dude, fan film, but you had the fucking real Jason in there.
Yeah,
That's fucking awesome.
That's cool.
No, we had what it was is we had Dash play the part of a sheriff named Jason Riolotti, and he's like, "Hey, I'm the real fucking Jason around here, not that Jason out there." You know, so it was a nice little fucking knock.
Oh, okay.
But we
Dude,
also got
where can I watch this? They got it on YouTube.
YouTube.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm totally gonna watch that. Did
But
you
we
guys?
also got-
You're not selling it, so you're able to use the music, right?
We got Harry Manfredini.
Okay, so recompose everything.
He did his shit. He made original music for it.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Oh, so you're saying the guy that originally did Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, he's fucking hilarious. He's a lush, but he's fucking hilarious. He's great.
You got any Friday the 13th soundtracks? Like
On hand, no.
Okay.
Not on hand.
We had one. My parents liked the original 3 movies so much that they bought the records for them. So I had the original.
Oh, so they got that fucking disco tune. That was Harry too.
Whatever's on there, like I remember seeing the record. I never actually put it on.
Yeah.
But they got the vinyl, man, at home.
And man, you got to get that one with that fucking disco track on it. Yeah, that was Harry too.
That's cool,
we all
man.
met at the same fucking release party.
Friday the 13th to me is the best horror series. I like 3. I like 3 a lot.
3 was all right. 4 is my personal favorite.
4, 7. 7's really good. Personal favorites, it's like the 3 in the middle. Like 4, 5, and 6 are like ones I've watched the most.
I thought
5
was
especially.
really good.
5 was great.
People give it shit. People give it shit because it was an imposter. So fucking what?
So fucking what? It's still, dude, and the plot twist was great. Like you see something in the beginning, then it gets right into the brutality, and it doesn't end until the end.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many funny lines in that
marks for a standard Friday movie. But I'm trying to think here. We got
6. A lot of people don't like. I like 6.
Well, we got C.J. Graham, who played Jason in Part 6, to be in that too. He plays Jason's father.
That's cool.
Oh, great.
All sorts of people.
We did. We tried to get as many as we could. We couldn't get Kane because it was Screen Actors Guild. It would have been nice to get Tom, but Tom You got to have money for Tom,
Kane.
like Savini.
Oh fuck yeah!
Kane is
Tom?
Screen Actors Guild. We couldn't get Kane in because of Screen Actors Guild.
You talking about Kane the wrestler?
Kane Hodder.
Okay, he played one of the Jasons.
Yeah, he was Jason in 7, 8, Goes to Hell, and Jason X.
Oh man, dude, that Jason, that guy had no neck. Was any of that
No,
prosthetic,
well,
or was
most
he
of
actually that big?
No, he got built because he was burned horribly in a fire.
Okay.
Like if you look at like shots of him, like fan photos with him, he's always wearing gloves because a shit ton of his body was burned. Like you look
Oh,
at his
man.
neck and you'll see the burns.
Wow.
Like it was a fucking bad stunt that went really, really wrong. But it's cool, because like he goes out, he goes out and he visits like kids in the burn wards and shit, and I respect that.
That's cool.
Oh,
That's cool.
100%. That means a lot to a kid. If a kid has that issue, that
Yeah,
horrible hand dealt to them, and then you got an adult that has
Yeah.
the same issue.
yeah, and honestly,
means a
Kane
lot.
is a nice
I
guy.
could
He really
sympathize with
is.
him.
He's got a fucking hell of a grip, though. Like his thing is he used to
bet.
fucking like take the photo. He would take the photo of you while gripping your neck, and that motherfucker will squeeze.
Bro, that guy kicking the fucking ghetto blaster in
Mhm.
Manhattan was so fucking funny.
Yeah, that was the best
I
part
thought-
of the movie.
I saw that. I saw 8 in the theater, and I don't know. The audience loved it. Like we were all fucking. I was going nuts. Me
Oh,
and
it
my
was
dad.
hilarious.
It was so great.
Yeah, they're like, you did neat, you slime bag, and then he
Yeah.
just lifts the mask up, and they're like, it's cool, man, it's cool.
Fucking punches that kid's head off.
That was on the rooftop. Yeah, it would have been nice if we could have gotten more people into it. Like we were trying to get Ginny Field. Yeah. She was Ginny in part 2. We tried to get her in. It just didn't work out.
Coming off of 8 and going to 9 was jarring because now it became this ultra supernatural thing. But it worked in the theater for some reason. Like the hype going into that, Jason Goes to Hell, the movie theater was packed. I'm watching that shit in the theater. And I don't know, it wasn't that bad. And then the glove at the end, fucking the audience went insane.
Yeah, because it was like, okay, we're finally going to get a Freddy versus Jason, but you had
It
to
was
wait
rumored
like
before that.
15 years. Yeah, they did X after that, and X was just meh.
I've always seen
Adds
the
a
first 3.
It had some good death scenes, but yeah, X was like it was like shot by like people that don't. The mask was horrible. Like
This summer, Jason gets an upgrade. Oh God,
That's a
man, they gotta do 11. Like why not?
they're gonna. Well, the problem is, and you see, this is where people were giving gun media shit. Is they're like, oh, you abandoned the game? No, a fucking judge ordered like any future production that could earn a monetary gain to stop.
That's why the game ended.
Yeah, because I remember
Yeah,
reading about that,
they
like
couldn't do
legal
it anymore.
stuff. Yep.
Well, no, it's because Sean Cunningham is fucking greedy. I do
That
have
game-
his autograph, and I did meet him, but he's fucking greedy.
I mean, it's his baby.
Like, well, no,
But
here's the thing.
But
is
he got paid for that game though.
He got paid for it, yeah. But here's the thing, though. Victor Miller, the rights were up because it was passing like the 30-year mark. And Victor Miller said, hey, look, I think I deserve 5% of this. Because what Victor Miller did is he did the majority of it. So he is legally entitled to a little bit of it. Cunningham just couldn't let go of that 5%.
Yeah, man, people get greedy about shit, especially movies.
Mm-hmm.
What's up,
And
Dave?
that's pretty much why the game got fucked. I mean, the game was this close to being done. Like when we had that the release party, when I went to the release party, and that's where I met all those people. Like I met Harry, I met Tom Savini, I met Kane Hodder, I met the guy that played Shelley in part 3. That's Larry Zerner, and Sean Cunningham was there. There was a lot of people fucking there. But the guys from Gun Media, I was like, so hey, what's next? And they're like, right now we're looking at getting Miguel Nunez to come in to do Demon.
Is Savini still involved in movies?
Not so much. And I think after that car accident that he had, it was even more fucked.
That was what he was doing things on YouTube for a while. Like he was doing like because he has his exhibit in Vegas.
Yeah. He's got the exhibit, and he's also got his school in Pittsburgh.
He did a show with the guy that does counting cars. It was really good.
Yeah. Savini's Savini's cool, but I've heard fucking stories about him. And I don't think people realize that the guy's got horrific PTSD.
Yeah, 'cause he was in Vietnam, wasn't he?
He was a fucking photographer in Vietnam.
Oh,
So imagine what he
man.
saw.
all the stuff he saw. Oh,
Dude.
yeah. Like all the dead bodies.
You don't think he picked up? Because the
Fucking
thing is like everybody's like, oh, Tom gets mean when and this and that. And when I met Tom, he was really, really nice, and he was like a total fucking sweetheart, like totally the opposite of what I even expected. Because I was a little starstruck, but I already know the golden rule: don't act like a fucking fan. Just treat them like they're a human being, you know. So
Yeah.
what did my stupid ass do? When I first met him, I walked up to him and I'm like, "My mother loves you."
Yeah, I mean, because you actually know you're a fan. You actually know his work. Like me, like going into it, like I know him from Tarantino's film, and then I figured everything out afterwards.
But before you get any further into that, that's what's funny how you mentioned that because, like I said, I tried not to be starstruck, but I mean I love Tom Savini, so I blurted out, "My mother loves you," and I was like, "Oh shit," you know? I was like, I just said something really stupid. He's like, "Well, really? What did she like me in?" And I was like, "She loved you in From Dusk Till Dawn." And he's like, "She liked me as Sex Machine?" And I was like, "No, not when the cock pistol came out. I mean, when you did the fingers on the shoulders and you were holding the hand over the mouth, she thought it was adorable.
Yeah.
You know,
It's fucking great.
You know, she loves you. You know." And he's like, "Well, do you have a camera?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got it on my phone." He's like, "Well, let's make mom jealous." He snapped his fingers, and a handler came over, and he's like, "Pull up your camera." And he handed it to the guy, and he's like, "Take a photo of us." And he put his arm around me, and he smiled. He didn't ask for a fucking penny.
Nah, that's great.
No, my mom loved Tom Savini, and it sucked because he got into the car accident, and then he stopped doing the cameos. I wanted to get a cameo of him, like saying hi to my mom for her birthday, because like that was her big thing, is she would like show photos of like me with him, and she's like, "Next time, get his autograph." And I'm like, "I do have his autograph," and she's like, "What?" You know, so I figured it would, you know, make her day. But he was in the car accident, things got fucked up, and then she died shortly after. So I never got a chance to get that done. But she loved Tom Savini.
I wonder
Like the whole point.
what kind of car he was in, because I know he liked hot rods, and sometimes those hot rods, they don't have the best restraints.
I think he got nailed, but he got clipped by a drunk driver. I think.
Oh,
Like he got T-boned. Like he was all fucked up, and like he's in his late 70s now too. So it's like, yeah, he's slowing down. But I mean, the thing is once again, people are like, "Oh my God, he's an asshole" and all this, and I'm like, well, this story says that you approached him while you were in an elevator. If I had PTSD and I was in an enclosed space, I might get a little jumpy. Or if I was surrounded by a bunch of people making a bunch of noises, you got to realize that once again, these people are human beings.
A lot of people forget that. They view them as
I think that there's a lot of parallels between him and the guy that created the Munsters cars. What was that guy's name?
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
I don't know the guy's name.
He made the Batmobile. He made the Munster car. He made a bunch of them.
Yeah.
A hot rod. That guy passed away. And Savini, to me, is like that because you see him as a supporting guy, making costumes and stuff.
Yeah, with all the makeup and shit. Like these were the pioneers. They made all this iconic shit that
these guys'
that we
jobs are. Now I don't want to say they're done because eventually animatronics will come back, but for now everything's CG, and the fans will revolt. They want the real shit.
They do, and I mean, here's the thing: is it's not totally dead. I mean, I've watched the Creepshow TV series, and that's done by Greg Nicotero, who was one of Savini's like star pupils, and he does good work.
They have
Like Nicotero
they
was
have a
one.
creep show
Nicotero
show.
was one of. Yeah, it's on. I don't think it's on Shudder. I think it's on Netflix.
Okay, I would
But
think
yeah,
it'd be on Sci-Fi.
nah, but it's like but it's like it's an episodic TV series, and like I've only watched like maybe like the first couple of seasons of it, but I thought they were pretty solid. They got cameos like from Adrian Barbeau, and like the first episode's got Adrian Barbeau, and it has the guy that was in the Saw movies, Tobin Bell.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
know you like Creepshow 1. I know you like Creepshow 1 better than Part 2, obviously.
Oh fuck
But
yeah! Creepshow
but
One is
yeah,
like one
but
of my favorite horror movies ever.
it's so great. It's so fucking great. But come on,
I
like
mean,
Creepshow
George
2, The
Romero
Raft.
directing.
The Raft is
The
so great.
Raft was excellent. The
Yeah.
Raft was excellent,
Everything
but
else
it's
just kind
like
of sucked. Though.
you've got George Romero directing, you've got Stephen King writing, and you've got Tom Savini doing the makeup effects. I mean, that's like dream team. That's like fucking 92 NBA All-Star team right there.
100%.
Like, it doesn't get any better than that. And the stories were so good. And I mean, hey, 2 was good, but it's just it's got big shoes to fill.
The
I mean, come
box
on, you
art.
got Leslie Nielsen acting like a psychopath.
Oh yeah, no, the box art on the VHS was incredible.
It was amazing.
Yeah. They went with
Fucking
more like
Creepshow.
they went more like with the comic book look on the box art for Creepshow 2, which is suiting
Yeah.
because it was more they were going more for a wider audience.
Yeah, but there was less stories though.
Yeah, what they chose from for the stories, like they should have had Stephen King writing them all.
You know, I kind of wonder how much of a hand Leslie Nielsen had in that shit because
Well, he nailed it. Him and Ted Danson. Ted
yeah,
Danson
Ted
was
Danson.
perfect.
But here's the thing though is like Leslie Nielsen, everybody's always talking about what a stand-up great guy he was. Like we all know how he did Naked Gun, right? You know how George Kennedy was like his co-star in that?
Sure.
Well, George Kennedy was in the
OJ.
second Creepshow movie. He was in the one with the Indian statue.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is like Leslie Nielsen, we only found this out later after they both died. But like there was a point when George Kennedy just was not getting work, and this guy was in a ton of fucking movies back in the day.
Yeah, he was.
Should
He
have put
just
him in
wasn't
all of
getting
them.
work.
Yeah, he should
But the
have
thing
helped
was-
the man out.
No, he did. That's the thing. Is when they hired Leslie Nielsen, the WWF, they hired Leslie Nielsen to do that Undertaker storyline back in '95. He went ahead and said, "Hey, my buddy George isn't doing anything right now. Why don't you give some of my salary to him, and we'll have him on board, and it could be Frank Drebin again." And they did. He fucking got his buddy work. So I'm kind of
Nice.
wondering, maybe he did the same thing for Creepshow, because I know Savini worked on the second one. What if he
Very
called up and
possible.
said, "Hey, my buddy George is out of, he's not doing anything. Why don't you bring him on?" I just think it's kind of funny when you think about that connection.
They should bring it way back. Like Paul Newman should have got George Kennedy work because his character, George Kennedy's character, sold the Luke character perfectly in Cool Hand Luke.
Yes, George Kennedy was a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, but he was in
Great.
It's just most
Oscar-winning-
people know his work from Naked Gun.
He was in one of Oscar-winning stuff back. Like
My
in the 60s and
ex-wife.
Mm.
Oh yeah, so he had his stripes. My ex-wife, her grandmother, God rest her soul, was went to the same doctor as Leslie Nielsen, so she saw Leslie Nielsen a handful of times in the waiting room.
Yeah, I know. And that guy had like the best sense of humor ever. Did she get hit with the fart machine?
No, but she said he was a real sweetheart. Think about this.
Yeah.
She's from Ireland. Like she has an Irish accent and everything. She's born in Ireland.
Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen, he's a true Canadian, and they're both in some fucking doctor's office in Margate,
Yeah.
which is like a elderly community here in South Florida.
Yeah. That's awesome, though.
Yeah. She said he
That
was
is
a
so
real
cool.
sweetheart.
Yeah,
She
nobody
didn't
ever
even know
had
he
a
was a
bad
movie
thing to
star
say about
until
him.
she figured it out. The doctor told her.
Oh, that's fucking crazy. I'd have recognized him, but like everybody was like, he always had a fart machine, and he thought it was the funniest thing ever. So he just like walked by and
A fart machine.
yeah,
He did an interview with
like
the
there's
fart
like
machine.
yo,
He
it's
did?
Teen TV.
Yeah, you ought to look that up. It's like they're trying to be really serious about that movie interview, and the guy
Yeah.
he just asks the question, and Leslie just rips. He keeps on ripping. It's funny. Them and
But you
Albert.
know, what? Man's man.
Oh yeah, Albert. Just
Lost his connection.
I'm gonna get off here soon anyway.
But I mean,
I'm getting hungry. 35 past 5 o'clock.
fucking hell.
Yeah.
Probably get off at about. I'll do it till 5:20.
It's so nice not to have to stream today.
I'm doing this because I didn't stream last week. I'm just making.
Or yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't stream yesterday. I also did stream yesterday because Fatal usually does it. Because the last time I did it, remember when I was doing Mario Kart, it overlapped. That's when we had like 3 streams going on at once when Buttocks was still.
Oh shit. I am so glad Resident. You know what? I love playing Resident Evil, but I'm glad we're finishing that up. So Wednesdays are going to free up again.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch any of your stuff on Wednesday because I'm at work. Like Monday's usually my
Yeah.
free time. I'm fortunate I was able to get on Friday.
Well, we did it Wednesday just because. What is it? One of my regulars, Cherokee. He's been asking like forever. Like, I really want to see you play that, and he's been there for a long fucking time.
He has. He's been one of those that's been I've seen on all your streams. Him and that Puds.
Yeah,
that Puds is another one I've seen a lot too.
Puds is cool. I like him.
Yeah, he's pretty.
Fudge is a nice film.
He's pretty knowledgeable about.
No, he knows his shit. Well, they're all like people from the Cinemassacre True subreddit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's people that like used to like diehard gamers that used to watch AVGN, and they're like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
And now it sucks.
Oh, no, it's fucking horrible now.
So they're not a fan of Rex Viper? Oh.
No,
I
ass
doubt it.
wiper, hell no.
Ass wiper.
Oh.
Who is a fan of Rex Viper though? Like except for James.
Rabbit Dude.
Nobody.
Rabbit Dude.
Oh, Rabbit. Oh, Rabbit Dude would say, yeah, well.
Oh, dude, I love Rex Viper. You don't like
Fuck
him?
that shit.
Let me guess. He thinks it's as good as Invader Zim.
Oh, well, Rabbit Dude, he likes his own shit.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just kidding.
I know. We like to mess.
Ass wiper like would not get booked at any convention if James was not in it.
Oh no.
And I mean that's a question that you got to ask. Are they getting booked on their talent or their songwriting, or are they getting booked because hey, we can advertise that we have AVGN in our thing?
Yeah, we all know the reason.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, they're all in-house bookings. All the conventions that they get booked at are run by Retroware, which is Screenwave.
Yeah, it makes even more. So yeah, that makes even more sense. Just promoting their product.
Yeah,
Rex
exactly.
Viper is
But the
coming to
thing
my
is-
bar mitzvah. Yeah.
Yeah, but if it was like any other convention, like where are they? Where? How come they're not booking the band? It's because they don't want people to fucking just leave.
Now, Dean? What's the name of Mike Mullis's band?
Shit, I wish I knew. I don't know.
I'm trying to
Justin
think-
knows, I'm
trying to
sure.
think, too. Yeah, just
The Flaming Farts, I don't know.
better than. Better than. What would you much rather have, Rex Viper or them playing?
I'd rather have Rex Viper.
Yeah,
I
know.
don't think I like Mike Mullis.
Mullis is too. Yeah, his stuff's too. His stuff's too corny. Compared to James.
Plus, he kind of like people say I abuse my kid. That dude abuses his kid. That's just funny. Oh man.
Well, I mean, here's the funny part too. And there's like no realistic thought process here either. Oh, Dean exposes his son to this. Dean, your son is like what, 12, 13,
11.
11? He's still
Yeah.
probably already seen way worse shit on his own.
He has.
You know what I
Like
mean?
he'll be getting on YouTube. I'll be hearing the F word. I'll be like, change that shit. Not shit, but change that. You know.
No, I know what you mean, but it's just like people don't realize that shit. It's because they're not fucking parents, or they forget that they were kids and they were listening to fucking horrible shit. I
Oh,
was 8
these
years old
motherfuckers
watching
forget
horror movies.
everything. I'm pretty sure. Like when these people were growing up, like I don't know how you're 39. I'm 41. I mean, like Beavis and Butthead
Yeah.
was a thing back then. I was a teen.
Absolutely. No, I had
Shit.
Beavis and Butthead. I wasn't allowed to watch that shit. I used to have to sneak that shit. So when I would watch it, and I'd have to, try not to like, what are you laughing at?
Yeah,
But I
that
was also
too.
watching shit like. But I was
See,
also
I
watching
think
shit like Friday the 13th,
you were watching what now? Didn't mean to cut you off.
like Friday the 13th and Tales from the Crypt and shit like that.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you saw titties on Friday the 13th. Yeah, and still.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
but it's just like that. But my whole point is, they're like, oh, Dink TV, he exposes his son to this. He's already exposed himself to shit way worse. He's actually on his best behavior in front of me.
No, that's a Leo.
Oh yeah, Leo. He keeps a good Christian household. I don't know what Leo does, but yeah, I'm all kinds of wrong in Leo's eyes. But going back to Beavis and Butthead, you weren't allowed to watch that. My
Yeah.
parents cut 32 through 33. 32 through 33 was BET, VH1, and MTV. And MTV came on scribbly and like the Snow Channel. And I could see a little bit of Beavis and Butthead every time I passed by there. Now to turn it down.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had Beavis and Butthead on channel 29 was MTV and channel 28 was VHS. VH1, I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just people don't fucking think about that shit, and they don't have fucking kids either. And I mean, that's realistic fucking thinking. They're like, try it,
Well, the people coming at me really don't have kids, and I know they don't. It's so funny to me, though. And they try to get me
But that's
off
my
the
whole point.
platform and stuff. Oh, Dean, he's playing porn games, or he's watching porn movies with his son. Like, motherfucker, this is a game. This is Strip Fighter. What? Shut up.
Oh God, that's Leo's game there. Oh boy, I remember that.
Yeah.
shit.
This is fucking Strip Fighter. Shut up.
Having a meltdown over.
Hey, look,
other
I can
people's-
understand. I could understand the argument if you said, "Son, today we're gonna watch Deep Throat."
Yeah.
A fucking video game. Yeah, meanwhile, Chun-Li's ass is showing, so is Cammy in Street Fighter 2.
Oh, yeah. I remember old Cammy.
Samus Aran in a fucking bikini.
It's Days of Vinyl, Dean. That's Mike Moss's band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Justy posted.
Oh, not to mention what Dead or Alive later on and stuff with the boobs physics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lets his
They
son
were all
play
about
Grand
to do-
Theft Auto.
Oh, dude. Grand Theft Auto, we couldn't
All right, that's the
believe we
trick.
could do a hooker in the car and then kill her later. Couldn't
Yeah,
believe
right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, don't act like they didn't play Grand Theft Auto when they were like 13.
Right.
I wish I could have played that when I was.
Trying to
What
think.
were you
GTA
playing when you were 13, Chiba? Tetris?
Let's be honest, like I want a Rabbit Dude type game.
Oh, so you played Princess Peach.
No, like Mario, I want a Mario.
Oh, okay.
Bible games.
Sonic, Mario and Sonic. Yep.
Yeah, Bible games. Yeah. There's one Bible game I'm waiting to come out on Steam. It seems like it's never going to see the light of day. It's that I Am Jesus Christ simulator. I want to play it.
Oh, Lord.
Oh man, I know about that.
Oh, dude, you get to fight Satan and perform miracles. It looks pretty good.
Sunday Fun Day.
Sunday fun.
I've never played that game. Just looks terrible. Anyways, it's
No,
I,
don't even fuck with that.
that's
Yeah,
nice.
it's time.
I'm gonna get off.
Like
Yeah, I
it's-
need to get me something to eat. Thanks for stopping by, Fatal Vision, Albert, Luke, Rabbit Dude,
Always.
everybody. I'll see y'all next time.
Always happy to support whenever I can.